Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I hope everything's working. You are listening to American Freeman on the Freeman Radio Network. Got a little bit of a technical things going on right now, so there's just me sitting here, which may or may not be your favorite thing in the world. Hopefully we'll have everything straightened out here very, 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 very soon, folks, I promise. And we'll be able to get on with our show today. In the meantime, while we're trying to figure all this out, I've got Maggot with me. Maggot, Lenny isn't sitting in front of his usual spot, and so, of course, that makes things a little more difficult as we try to do this by remote, ladies and gentlemen. We do hope you bear with us. Give me just a few seconds here. I'll hum something in the background like the Jeopardy theme while we're all waiting. So I hope you're out there listening. I hope you're entertained. I hope things are happy and fun in your little worlds out there. It's such a wonderful, great day to be alive, especially when you take into consideration the fact that, I don't know. You see, I'm drawing this total blank at the moment. You will get put on the spot, and all you can do is just talk, and you've got to fill airtime, and you've got to fill space, and you just start to think, oh my God, what a huge mess I've happened to get myself into. As frightening as that sounds, it just happens to be the case. The only positive thing that I can think of out of this whole situation is that at least, well, you know, you're not listening to nothing, and you're probably not even listening at all. Apparently, from what I understand, most of you just download the show after it's been all edited and fixed, so hopefully we'll just get all this fixed up. So I'm going to put you all on hold right now. Hum to yourself for a second, and I'll see what I can do. Haha, maybe we can now. Maggot, I'm going to try calling you on a different line.
DVD's brilliant colour art has absolutely everything to do with the film. Shot with only $1 million budget, Order Chaos is a bold and edgy psychological thriller. It's a great example of what happens when directors avoid sticking to what's safe and focus on defining what a movie could be. So, it doesn't actually... the story follows two lawyers vying for the same job success in their diametrically opposed ways. He gives Reese Crowe gives a creepy showing here of a strict, drug-addled and melancholy worker bee. I don't know what script is. Can't be script. Well, Milo plays the outgoing, hedonistic and mysterious new neighbour, co-worker. He's probably gay. I added that bit. I'm reading through it, I'm just seeing anything that's not totally cliched.
I mean, what are we dealing with here? What's motivating all these people besides the fact that they live in this worker bee style status?
Well, that's it. I don't see why it's got what is in it. You see, it doesn't seem to be anything sort of like outside the boxy at all with it. No idea.
So it's basically what you do about nothing.
Yeah, seems to be two lawyers vying for the same. What was it? Same job success. There's two lawyers. I mean, it's like how institutionalized, whatever. How standardized you can get. Unless one of them like finds out he's actually a spacecraft that flies up into the sky or something. I don't really see it's going to be that good a film. Bit strange though to do like not only like a really sort of conventional movie, but also to be involved with a conventional movie on such a tiny budget. Like, I'm desperate to get into Hollywood, I'll do anything. You make this shitty cliche movie.
Right.
You know, it kind of... I'm imagining it's like daytime TV thing. Daytime TV movie, like
a Lifetime original channels picture.
Yeah. Yeah, perhaps one of those one-off series, quite like cop series things.
Right.
Nothing like Columbo, that's the only example I can think of, because that went on forever.
Right. We're talking something like a miniseries movie. Like when V first came out the first time, it was just a miniseries. It was a couple hours.
Yeah, or something they developed for TV.
Right.
And then it instead of going to being a TV series, they thought, oh, we'll make a one-off movie of it. This is John. He has, I mean, from the YouTube thing now. He has the perfect life. I'm having to scrub it, you see, because it's like all mixed and stuff. The perfect job. The perfect girl.
Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah, but nothing stays perfect forever. It's downloading at the same time, but I've just got. It's got like they've handily provided it with little text I can read along for it.
Oh, that's so nice of them.
I know. 105,000 views though. Not bad.
We'll be watching part of a movie today as narrated by Maggot. Maggot, thank you very much.
Yeah, just in the trailer. I think that might be all the text actually. It was very highly expensively done, it was just simple.
Right, sure.
Public domain texting software. And then, he kisses his girlfriend, shoots her, and all that sort of stuff.
Sounds thrilling. It's probably groundbreaking and life-changing, and it will help wake so many people up to realize that the Matrix exists and we're all trapped in it.
Yeah, that's it, and it will help us fight the New World Order as well, because that's what Alan Watt's all about.
Sure, of course. Of course.
Adding comments has been disabled for this video.
They don't want anyone coming on and saying, this was crap.
Yeah, I know. What's this got to do with defeating the New World Order? I bought 50 of his crappy DVDs. Obviously, he makes a decent movie.
Now, I don't think I've ever actually been able to sit through and watch a single Alan Watt film, so...
Oh, yeah, but you've heard his broadcast, I suppose. I mean, everybody said...
Sure.
Put up with some of it, yeah. Pretty budgety. Okay, so is there anything else? I just thought I'd just put it out just to laugh. We're still waiting on Lenny's getting out.
No, we're actually on the air right now. Lenny won't be calling us today or anything. Yep, our president is in absentia at the moment. Not quite sure where he is. He's apparently busy running around and doing things, making earning debt notes, I guess.
Okay. Well, I'll read the news article I was reading now today. Lily is Britain's first baby, with two wearing parents on her birth certificate. So what will her mummies tell about her about dad? Trying to avoid anything too obviously gender oriented, but it's 2 women, 1 sperm donor. And Lily as well, is it Lilith? So that's quite a convenient name for first baby, 2 wearing parents. So I haven't actually reading through it. I think it means that perhaps the women's ovums are weakened or something, and so they need to kind of fertilise 2 or something. Because it's two ovae or whatever, 1 sperm I think, or it could just be lesbian parents. That's really old.
Weird.
Yeah. Her name is Lily May Woods, is barely 3 weeks old, and already the circumstances of her birth have provoked curiosity. How did you 2 make a baby? Asked the bemused 5-year-old boy, who talks like a queen, who lives next door to the lesbian couple, Lily May's parents. How did you 2 make a baby? Yeah, they're quite stunned that this 5-year-old boy saying that like that.
I'm sure they must be.
Yeah. It was in the Daily Mail, or in the UK. Printed on. It was last updated on the 22nd of April 2010. I said that we went to a special clinic which helped us, explained Leslie Woods, who is a genetic mum to Lily May. Post a link as well. Yeah, so similar questions doubtless called to her daughter. She grows up minus the father with 2 mothers.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you guys happened to see the story over there in the UK, but last year or so, it was the hugest sensation in the entire world. This gay couple were having a baby.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
But it was no. I'm sorry, that's not what it was. The whole thing was this man was having a baby.
Oh, the man who got pregnant.
Yeah, the man who got pregnant, but only because he had been born a woman and had a sex change operation, so he still had the capacity to carry a baby to term, and so whatever, decided to carry a baby, and everyone was like, "Oh, a man's carrying a baby! This is so groundbreaking! This is fantastic!"
Yeah.
It did the rounds on Oprah. It did the rounds on every news show. It was like super overhyped, media-driven, and all I could do while I sat there and thought about it was, that isn't a man having a baby.
No,
it's a woman.
That's a woman who's had a sex change.
Right, it's still a woman having a baby.
Yeah, partial sex change operation instead of having a baby.
Right.
Yeah, it's not like they fertilized his bladder or something.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just totally ridiculous.
But I'm constantly amazed, I guess, with how some of these things just get overhyped, and the things that are news that aren't even really news. And it's just off as being A-okay to have. I know.
Yeah. I guess they dropped 2 ovum in a jar with a load of sperm sample, and the 2 ovum or whatever with the two women, and then just injected one of the women with the fertilised egg, so they don't know which one it came from. So I was thinking, it's like the DNA's unraveling and all that. And it's like I was wondering why they actually bothered mentioning the whole article. Happens quite a bit. That woman who got pregnant is pregnant then anyway.
Really?
But it's a woman anyway.
Right, exactly. That's just, but they made it overhyped and turned into something, and all it was is, it's like a cross-dresser giving birth.
Yeah. Woman wearing trousers has baby. Big shock.
Right. So, I know Lenny and Paul jump all over me and yell at me for still paying attention to watching, mainstream media, but I really think that there's an awful lot of amusing stuff that they keep trying to pull over your heads, and if you at least can be aware of it, if you can know that it's out there, knowing that it's a complete fabrication and it's all just super hyped up stuff, it's like watching comedy all day long.
Yeah, it is.
And
it's all acting all the way through, like the daytime talk shows, obviously acting. It's just like, how much can you handle, really? It's like a lot of people need to get into like the serious, gritty stuff about like the council of this and the national policy and that. That's all very well, but once you studied it for long enough, sort of like seen it all, and it's like I realised most of it's generated anyway.
Sure. Oh yeah.
Anybody who's worked in the media knows that most of the stories generated. Generated is another word for saying made up. They make it up. They drink lots of alcohol, take drugs, and type out stories on their laptops.
Sure.
That's what happens in London, in Soho.
London
Soho is mainly strip clubs. But apparently that's where most of the journalists work.
Well, in New York City, right downtown New York, right around Rockefeller Center, where NBC's headquarters are, and ABC's headquarters, CBS's headquarters, up until about 10 years or so ago, that used to be strip clubs right around there too.
Sure.
They cleaned all that up and got rid of it, and then staged 9/11, and now every news media outlet in the entire United States is scared shitless to tell you the truth about it.
Well, that's it. I mean, half the stories that scared everybody reading them have been written by all those lap dancers in front of the person typing. I've sort of a bit of reality check.
My best writing in strip clubs, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed them. I think they're an awful lot of fun. It's a real blast. I enjoy throwing my death notes at somebody else. Because I can get something out of it then, right?
Yeah.
Better than a fine pair of beautiful breasts pressed up against your face. Nietzsche. So, stimulate for both heads, as it were.
Yeah.
So I advocate that strip clubs are a great place to get work done and for business meetings. In fact, I think the next business meeting that the World Freeman Society has should be at a strip club.
Probably would be more productive, yeah.
Well, it certainly would be highly attended. Certainly far more attended.
Yeah, raise a few heads. Ah, ha, 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 ha.
We should host our show someday from a strip club.
It's an idea. It's an idea.
You know,
It's not a bad one. It's probably if you did do some sort of like 911 truth bore movement in a strip club, you get more attendees than you would anywhere else.
right.
Just because they're like, what the hell are you doing here? It's like, I just thought I went to the strip club. You probably get more interest.
Well, who wants to go to a boring rally and listen to somebody like Alex Jones get up and scream and yell and rant and rave at you? Let's and you know, we can even make sure it's a co-ed strip club just so that the women don't feel that they're left out. We'll have a room specifically for them and a room specifically for all the guys, and we just do this all over the computer anyway, so, you know, it doesn't have to be in the same room. I would go to a 9/11 Truth Movement rally if it were held in strip club. I'd go to a tea party if it were held in strip club, I think.
Yeah. So the other problem with the truth movement is it's all, especially from the Alex Jones like on the show, there's all a bunch of old fogies. They're all like 60 or 70 years old, all dying, got used to this molesting's dead. I know Jordan Maxwell's about dead, and his brother's dying, and everybody's dying in that movement, and it's just really sort of boring. I would say depressing. It's not really depressing, I don't find it depressing, I just find it sort of like symptomatic of like the whole movement really. It's just dying of old people. It's like old people paranoia and people just don't care anymore.
Sure.
That's the biggest problem. You know, if any sort of like try and start any inverted commas movement, is the fact that the people currently in it are so old and old fogey-ish. You got a few others. You got like Jason Burmas is supposedly rubbish, Alex Ansary, and like very small handful of other people, but mostly it's like a bunch of old farts.
Sure.
And that's me being polite. I mean, you know, other people wouldn't even bother paying them any attention. They're the sort of people that bugged you as a kid. You know, like crazy old men on drugs and stuff. Apparently, like, you know, the world's being invaded by Martians and stuff.
Sure. Well, you know, that's part of the whole. That's why there has to be a voice out there that's screaming and ranting and raving every 10 years, and that's why they create false flag attacks and do things every generation or so. So you can stimulate a whole new group of people who think that you have 9/11 happen in 2001.
Yeah.
And now in 2010, everyone that is questioning or has been questioning for the most part the whole 9/11 truth, that fun stuff, it was, you know, in their 20s or 30s when 9/11 happened, and all the teenagers and all the grade school kids at that time who are now the 18 to 25-year-olds who are the ones out there being lied to constantly, are the ones looking at everyone going, "You're a bunch of old fogey people who don't know what you're talking about. I saw the video. I've seen everything. I know it's real. I know it's true. You guys are just dumb. What? You guys? You know what? You guys are probably terrorists." That's it, man. That's exactly it. You guys are terrorists, and I'm gonna tell the FBI on you guys. I'm gonna call the cops right now, man. I'm gonna call the cops and tell them that I know who the terrorists are, and they're on this radio show. Yep. we're gonna spread the truth, man. Terrorism, no place in America.
Yeah, so that's what they're all up against, I suppose.
Sure. And of course now,
it's not like this bright young truth coming out. I haven't seen any evidence of it. It's just all people like, oh well, he talks.
Right, exactly. Well,
that's like English for you. It's just like they're just like most cryptic, annoying sort of like people at times. Yeah, it's like he talks means like he sort of like he talks for us, or he just talks, and you're supposed to like think, oh, what does he mean? So yeah, it just means he talks.
Right, sure.
Like some people get the function of they are the talker, whether they like it or not. It's like, no, you can do the talk, you can do the talk. You're a chosen talker. Oh, but you got throat cancer! No, you haven't.
Well, you know, somebody's got to be the chosen mouthpiece for a group of people. The problem is, I think they always choose the loudest and most obnoxious people to be the mouthpiece because they want to talk.
So often it's the most reluctant one as well.
Right.
Well, you can see loads of feature dragging this, like people go, oh, every show they're like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore, you're out to get me, and they're talking out of their arse. They know it.
Sure.
They know that the feds aren't going to jump on their property any second that they've been doing recording. They know they've been told to do this job for years, like doing truth movement stuff, because like we don't get too sinister. They have been told by their peers, you know, you're the sort of person that we need to in order to spread our message. Whether the message is actually true or false, you know, it seems to be like a tribal thing in humans. That they have somebody who's like the guy, the conch shell or the bullhorn, or you know, the sort of like the town crier sort of thing, and the like the bards and all that. It seems to be part of history that there's somebody who has to do the talking for the people. You're the one that can read. You should do it.
And we hope to have some of those people on our show so that we can laugh at them and make fun of them.
Well, that wouldn't be quite fair. It'd be funnier to have the people who put them up to that job. Because they're usually a bunch of nutty morons. But yeah, I know you mean. A lot of the ones who are the mouthpieces for groups are pretty bad, and they are just like top permanent moaners. They never seem to get the bigger picture. You know, they just seem to think that this like fate's landed them this job.
Sure.
Just by complete coincidence, it just happened. And, they don't seem to realise they had a choice at some point. It's like when they were a child or something, they decided they wanted to fight for the truth or fight for their peers. Or, they don't seem to be very good at saying no either.
Right.
Refusing it. So, you know, the sort of point of what I'm saying is that they end up promoting whatever they're told to.
Sure.
Pushing an agenda, which isn't necessarily one that's pushed by the government.
Right. The difference between an agenda and the agenda.
That's it.
Yep.
Because like in any tribe, going back to the tribalism and stuff like that, any tribe has an agenda, just like enforced by the tribal leader. And whether the tribal leader, you know, there's always somebody who's picked on as a leader. In all societies, any group of people who talk together, like you have people in a pub or whatever. This is like in olden times, in pubs and stuff, you'd have like the talkers and you'd have the spokespeople. They'd be the sort of people that be picked on in order to speak to the knight, and they usually get killed. You know, they say, "Look, please, sir, please, can you not kill more than 3 women a day?" You know, it's like Monty Python style. You just get sliced to pieces.
Well, just the ones that they always put up to do the talking, the spokespeople. They want to make sure that they're loud and brash and arrogant and rude and right in your face, because otherwise they're not going to get hurt. And you put up your smallest, weakest member who might be the smartest person in the group, but if they're, you know, the 5'4".
You sound like talking about actually, so.
Well, I was going to say 5'4" and maybe all of 110 pounds dripping wet, you know, something less.
I know, yeah, they got to be assertive and stuff, and they got to be able to raise their voice, and it's like, so in that context, how did Alan Watt get his job? He's the smallest, weakest person you think of, and his idea of processing is like, you know, sort of like really, please sir, we preferred if you didn't do this. It's like, you've offended my Butlerian jihad. You've offended my Butlerian tendencies.
Well, you know, there always has to be an exception to every rule.
Yeah.
Always has to be one exception. And maybe they put Alan Watt into that place just so to make all the rest of them seem that much more ridiculous. You know, so we open our mouths and make a comment and somebody can go, oh, no. Oh, no. What about... Okay, well, how do you know he hasn't been put up by the other end of the establishment, and that's why he's just being played both ends of the floor?
Because he's so polite and nice.
Right.
Yeah. So it's like... Sort of, I'm sure there's a term for it in intelligence, but the sort of like... The nice guy who's like trying to get you to defect to the other side, but really they talk so much, and they got such a sheepish attitude that you end up getting pissed off with them and joining the other side, which is what which is what you're supposed to do in the first place.
Right, exactly. You know, you get the. It's really easy to ignore the guy who's going. And folks, you have to understand that right now out there, they're listening, they're watching you, they're paying attention. This great socialist curse, it's coming on to the entire world, and it's one. You know, it's really.
They're going to come to your house and they're going to kill your baby.
All right.
Yeah.
Take your children away. They're going to string your dogs up like they're ham hocks. They're going to burn your house to the ground and stomp on your ashes.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And we can defeat them if we have nuclear missiles.
All right. All I need you listeners out there to do is send me $500,000 apiece, and I've got a deal lined up with this guy in the Ukraine. Shh, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I know some mafia, so I have some connections, you know what I'm saying?
Right? But, I mean, those people are really easy to ignore. It's hard.
So I suppose, Adam, what's more, you're sweet talking. I hate the phrase, but there's smooth talking and sweet talking. Smooth talking is just like nice tones of voice. Sweet talking is like, oh, but we wouldn't really want to do that, would we?
Right, it's this tiny little ingratiating voice that just makes it sound like a mosquito buzzing in your ear.
Yeah, sort of, Butler sort of voice, a bit like C-3PO or something.
Right.
But if you imagine C-3PO is really short. Yeah. I just want to be a problem to you. If you just want to, if you just give me the honour of 10 minutes of your time, I'll explain my situation to you, and maybe you'll change your opinion. Yeah, but I mean, those people are just as much part of the system as the other thing. But I think they had to have one like that.
You know, they pulled this nasty tick out in my eye. You just started talking like that, and I felt my whole face starting to go. It started to quiver then.
Yeah, it's the creepy gay voice. I'm not very good at it, but yeah, I've heard it loads. Yeah, just like start getting things young hair.
And it may be the most intelligent sounding stuff that's available out there, but because of the way it's delivered, it's just automatically ignored.
That's it, and even if you do listen to it, listen to it, take it all in, and then you get the impression they're coming on to you. And you're like, oh fuck you, I can't put up with this anymore, I'm just going to join them anyway. Yeah, it's like, because what they've done basically, they've taught you all you need to know in order to be recruited by the NWO or whatever, the other side, so to speak. And, this stupid little wimp standing in my way. He knows everything, but he does nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and you know, I know Lenny talks about how every time he goes places, people always want to hear about this stuff, and he has the opportunity to share these ideas with people, and so many of them know that. I go places and I open my mouth and I say, well, you know, 9/11 was an inside job, and they go, oh my God, you must be Arabic, aren't you? No, not at all. Oh, you must be. If you think 9/11, you're a terrorist. I think that's my new redneck character for our show, Joe Terrorbomb.
Ultimate Mongrel. You always use that name, yeah.
Yeah, my ultimate mongrel.
Yeah.
That was a pretty funny night, and I will never be able to live that down. Careful what you say when you're talking to a group of people who will exploit you. But yeah, it's you know, it's that whole. Well, look, see, here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. We're the white people, and because we're the white people, what we say has to be better than everything else they say. And here's what they don't want you to know. Because we're really the white people. The white people are the only people. I mean, we're better than anything. Hold on a second. I gotta get my beer out here. Budweiser's the only way to go. Thank you.
Gonna have a hacking cough as well.
Oh damn! My smoke went out. Marcia, go give me a new pack. So, there, unfortunately, that's what exists out there. There's a huge group of people for whom the highlight of their day is coming home and watching people hit each other on TV. I mean, reality TV shows are so huge in America, not because it's good television, but because people are so stupid, all they want to do is sit around and watch other people being stupid. I mean, have you seen the movie Idiocracy?
I don't think so, no. I know about it, though.
It's hysterically funny, and I would encourage you to see it. It's written by the guy who did Office Space, the guy who created a Beavis and Butthead, Mike Judge.
Yeah. Okay.
But the whole theory is that as humans get dumber, they tend to procreate more. People tend to procreate at a far slower rate. And so hundreds of years into the future, everyone's just a big moron. Literally. Like the #1 TV show is Ouch My Balls. And all it is a guy constantly getting hit in the balls. Yep. Everything is about sex. In fact, Starbucks, known for raping you already, will now do it in reality. All you have to do is pay them. Yeah, it's a really, really amusing movie and definitely worth watching. But it's frighteningly true because you have this vast group of people out there who, the instant you challenge the line that they firmly believe in. I mean, how many people out there still think that the Oklahoma City bombing was carried out by one or two lone style wackos who were completely screwed up and managed to get their hands on all kinds of chemicals and equipment and be able to get into the federal building in Oklahoma to be able to, set a bomb off. That didn't happen by accident. But you'll have tons of people out there who will go, yeah, man, I know some of them crazy people like that. We should ship them all back over to Iraq. Towelhead, we don't need their kind here. You don't like it here, you go live someplace else. You ain't gonna find no place better than America, man.
I seem to be chatting on the internet.
Right? And then they overhype stupid stories like that Jihad Jane gal. Which I'm convinced already is just another setup to just, freak people out. Once you're aware that this is actually happening and that there is an agenda going on out there, you just start second-guessing absolutely everything that comes along, and I guess most people just don't want to have to use their brain and think that hard.
Yeah.
If you disagree with us, why don't you call us and let us know? We'll be sitting right here.
Yeah. Learning is painful, and people have a natural avoidance of pain. Well, I don't think it's natural myself, but they get cultured to avoid pain.
Sure.
Pain is something you see on TV, and that's why so many actors are so bad at it, portraying pain as well, because they've never actually been in pain. They just get it off other people, see other people who have been in pain. It's all a bit twisted and MK but that's how it actually happens. These actors have totally really comfortable lives, and so in order to portray pain, they'll see somebody in actual pain. Right. In a club or whatever, like somebody get punched and they'll copy that and they'll have it filmed.
Right. Because they could never actually get punched because then they have to go through a healing process and they can't work through the healing process and then forget who they are.
Yeah, and their nose might be broken and they might just be too wimpy to put up with it.
Sure.
They just might it's like, no, I don't want to put up with that, I'm important, I'm an actor.
Right. I'm too important to be a thing. Excuse me.
Yeah. So they learn it all from even snuff movies and stuff like that. They learn how to react to certain things. They watch it from actual real events, stuff taken off the police or whatever. Camera footage of violence and rape scenes and stuff like that. That's how they learn to act. It's like some of the Hollywood acting, all of it is just so bizarre to watch. People like Michelle Pfeiffer, when she does sex scenes, it's just so weird. I don't know. Being American, you might think it's quite hot, and I just think it's really freaky. Just totally unlike that in real life. That sort of slow motion things, might possibly be taking a bit of a bra strap off mine.
The best thing about Hollywood and television and everything here is they'll show the people just finishing having sex and laying in bed. And they're still clothed.
And wearing makeup. Both sides. Man and woman.
It's not messed up. Sweating.
No.
Flopping back going, oh my god. There's none of the,
There's no damp patch.
Right, exactly. More lifting their legs up in the air going, okay, hopefully we'll get pregnant this time. Nope.
There's no guy going, oh shit, what did I do?
Alright.
Oh, exactly.
That's the one thing they never show. They never show that guilt face on either the guy or the girl as they roll off going, oh my god, I can't believe I just fucked this guy.
Yeah, that's it. I'm gonna hear the end of this.
Right? It never finishes off with what. It never gets interrupted right in the middle of it with, what are you trying to do? Don't put your hand there. No. Stop before you get ahead of yourself.
Or the guy might ask to do a position, the woman says no.
Right, exactly. But,
let's do it, doggy. No!
Come on! It's my birthday! Don't you love me?
It's just on your back every time, sick of it.
Right, well, and that's the awful thing about not only TV acting, but the mass expose of porn that's available everywhere. Is that you get a whole culture and group of individuals who think now that, every woman in the entire world wants you to be that way with them. And
shackle from wangles.
Right, exactly. It's once again, it's part of the whole dumbing down of the American populace and keeping us locked into a pattern of behavior into accepting that life is only about sex, drugs, and money.
Mm.
Not that it isn't about sex, drugs, and money, but I just wouldn't rank them in that order. Well, I enjoy sex, don't get me wrong. I think I'd be an idiot if I didn't, but, there are a couple things that I might rank a little more important than sex. It's nice if my wife loves me enough to let me have sex in the first place. So, I tend to have to rank that as slightly more important.
Mm-hmm.
But, Hollywood's just a whole messed up society all by itself. I had a buddy of mine who, one of his friends that he went to high school with, actually worked out in Hollywood. Still does, actually. And the crazy stories, the stuff that you learn about some of these actors and who they really are and everything, it's just ridiculous. And you're like, and these are the people that we want our kids to go to movie theaters and watch, and we want them to grow up and dream about being movie stars and actors, and the way that they portray things on TV or real life. I mean, I had a big, huge, long conversation with a buddy of mine a few weeks back. He, poor kid. He is so deluded by Hollywood's portrayal that you are going to one day find, quote, end quote, the one, that perfect person that will complete your whole world. And he's spent his whole life chasing this dream, throwing money and stuff after this whole dream fantasy of a one perfect person. I had to smack him around verbally for about an hour and a half one day. Get him to realize that they want you to believe that. It may or may not be real, it may or may not be true, but they want you to believe it so that you keep taking people out to go see these cheesy movies. So buy chocolate and flowers and horribly expensive gifts on Valentine's Day.
Yeah. And it all seems to be like luck of the draw as well. Everything's just like totally random luck. It's like, he caught her eye, or did she catch him?
Right?
And and then it's like total fluke leads to total fluke leads to total fluke leads to love.
Right? And they suddenly fell happily in love.
Yeah. Suddenly realised that they were in love. After 17 years. Yes. After you shag all the other women.
Right, exactly.
Except it never works out like that because all the feminists say, I don't like that story. Tell me the other way around. After you shag all the other men. That'd be more acceptable.
Maybe not.
Yeah, I know. That'd be like the more modern version.
After she shagged all the other guys. Wait, I saw that movie. That's Debbie Does the Gangbang number 12, right?
Yeah. Houston 500 or whatever.
Something like that.
She only loved the guy at the end.
Right. Just the last.
500, yeah.
Yeah, just
what he did count down.
He has to have had some kind of, I don't know. I can't imagine. I don't even get into that. It's just too horrible of a mental picture in my head right now.
Yeah, you're just going to be really screwed up, Steve.
For the rest of the day. Thank you. Bravo, Maggot. Round of applause. You know what we need? We need sound effects for this show. neat little sound effects buttons, like canned laughter and applause and stuff like that, just so we can keep making fun of ourselves. And I want to do ridiculously long promos, too. You're listening to the #1 most talked about internet radio show that we've ever heard of. The only one that we ever talk about, the only one we ever talk on. That's American Freeman. That's right, American Freeman. American Freeman on the Freeman Radio Network. Freeman. These ridiculously long, promos. Blast. I think our audience would appreciate having to fast forward to 5 minutes. Ridiculous. Then we might just sound like other radio shows. I don't know what radio sounds like.
I think it was good. I promoted some crappy porn movie, and
that's alright. Crappy porn movies are good.
Well, it was good as far as porn goes, but it still was something like Houston 500.
I mean, I don't like the idea of sharing a woman with another guy. I can't imagine this for.
Yeah, let alone 500.
Exactly. I mean, wow. That thing has to be just completely abused by the end of the day.
I know. I was just like, I can't see the mentality of the people who do that. It's just how can you?
Well, it's
I don't know.
It contributes to a culture of debasing and degrading ourselves, which is. What we as, Mordecai, the lonely rabbi, would refer to as, the Goyim. We are nothing better than cattle, so we might as well go ahead and fuck like monkeys.
I guess so. And after she'd done 500, she just walked off. And then she just walked back on. And obviously then I cut it a bit, but she wasn't crawling on her hands and feet or anything. So it was...
How could you walk?
I say exactly. There was all angles, and there was multiples at the time at some points. Yeah, it's I know. It's women usually are lie down. And lie down for 10 minutes after once or twice. It's this one did 500, and she just like a fucking robot, sex robot.
It's a little telethon counter next to the bed that just ticks a new one every single time.
That's it. Yeah, the type of whore or something. He's like a taxi driver almost.
Exactly. Ding, ding,
yeah.
Ding.
That's $18.
I wonder if she got paid per act or got just a flat rate.
I think
she got 500. She'd have made less money, or she just got a flat rate on it.
Yeah, the guy who did it, I think, was Jewish. I can't remember his name. He was in a movie video, I think. We Are Made of Stars, famous porn actor. I'll probably know his name. Hey, what?
Ron Jeremy?
Think so. I think that was him at the end.
Just by the nickname Hedgehog.
He's that short, ugly guy.
Yeah, Ron Jeremy. Yeah. There's only one short, ugly guy in porn. There's only one short, ugly guy in porn.
Yeah. But I won't mention his accent, but yeah, that's what he's saying.
Right.
Get too many listeners aroused.
I guess I know far more about porn than I should. And, but probably not quite as much as some of the finer, more educated connoisseurs out there. So, if you have a completely unabridged porn collection out there and can make suggestions to Maggot or myself, we definitely love to hear from you. I'd like to know what great porn movies out there are available for my viewership.
To help fight the New Order.
Right, exactly. Because what we're going to do with it is, after we watch the porn, we're going to feel so relaxed that all we can do then is go fight the New Order.
Exactly. Yeah, they got to be ones that do have I don't know, descriptions of the World Trade Center and fascinating information on the history of the Rothschilds. They can present it while they're doing the porn stuff. It's in 1927, in Rothschild. Well, they're actually on the job.
Well, I think, once again, much like having a 9/11 rally in a strip club, maybe if they presented 9/11 truth or, Federal Reserve banking truth inside of pornos.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course, most people would only watch them in about, 3 or 4 minute intervals, but they get to it eventually. You know, I think it's the way to go. You know, you can have the announcer sits there and starts talking. If you take a real close look at the following footage.
Yeah, it's like seems it on her ass sort of thing.
when you're looking right over the top of her head.
Yeah. She has like some statistics written between her tits or something.
Right, exactly. You know, every time the breast moves to the left, you can see the tower standing. And then the breast moves to the right, you can see them implode. Pay close attention.
If she could have the original Constitution written on her back.
That'd be awesome. Just tattooed all over the whole thing.
Yeah, on a projection screen or something.
Oh, no.
Like, put one of Jordan Maxwell's presentations like on a slideshow and project it onto her back or her stomach.
There was real briefly, because just to get off topic.
Yeah.
They were talking about that volcano that exploded in Iceland.
Yeah.
And they had one aviation expert on Good Morning America, and then they had this one physicist. And this is the physicist who you can find out there. I can't remember his name right now, but he does. You can find YouTube videos that he's put up about invisible matter, and it's all like real high-end physics and theoretical physics and everything else. But they had him on to talk about the drifting particles of ash and everything else. And as soon as he was done talking to them, he quickly got up and fled out of there. And George Stephanopoulos, another wonderful tool of the establishment, made some comment as he was leaving. Well, I guess he just needs to get out of here because he's a little scared of Big Brother.
Yeah.
Way to completely just announce it in front of the entire populace that's watching your TV show and ridicules the guy. Woohoo!
Yeah, like it's going to make any difference,
Right.
If they want to get him, they just get him when he's pronouncing.
Right.
No, we can't get him in the middle of his magical speech.
Well, it's like I was passing through the house the other last Sunday, and some political morning talk show thing was on, and some stupid 8-bitch on some show made some comment about how all the 9/11 truthers are just out there with smoking pot. And then goes, "Oh, did I say that? Ha 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 ha." I'm like, you bitch. You're lucky I can't climb through the computer or the TV and probably. Lucky I'm high enough right now that I thought about doing it. I mean, not that they aren't, but come on! You just ridiculed an entire movement on national television once again. And that's what prevents anyone from being able to realistically listen most of the time, is because they hear this corporate bullshit that gets passed around.
A blanket, I remember the word eventually, it's like a blanket dismissal.
Right, exactly. Admit that it's there and then completely ridicule it.
Well, yeah. You just ridicule the entire movement or the entire group. It's like saying, I don't know, Japanese are all idiots. I know it's not even true, but that is a blanket dismissal statement.
Right, exactly.
Or whites are always shorter than blacks.
Not true.
I know. None of those statements are true, but they're like blanket dismissal.
Sure. And they're effective, because once again, you wind up running into Joe Redneck out there.
Yeah, they're so easy to sink in. They sink in a lot easier than actual stuff that's more complicated.
Sure. Well, because people like blanket dismissals. They feel it empowers them because they're better than this whole other group that you just...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all men are bastards.
Yeah, right. Right.
See how much problems that's caused, that phrase.
Yeah. Well, that's why I think my only blanket dismissals that I use are these: all women are evil and all men are evil.
Okay.
And every time I've shared that with people, every guy I share that with laughs and goes, "Yep, that's true." Half the women agree with me, and the ones that don't, I find, are far more evil than the ones that do agree with me. But yeah. But people are just, for the most part, they don't want to have to critically think about any of these issues. They don't want to have to critically examine this stuff. I try to share Freeman ideas with people, and the whole idea is that I'm not trying to convert them or tell them that all government is absolutely evil and you should never be a part of it and don't work a job and don't pay your taxes and don't do any of that, because all it's going to do is just make you a tool of the establishment, and you need to go out and rape and kill all of their wives and children and daughters and husbands and sons and fathers. And you have to get rid of all of these people, otherwise you're going to... No, that's not what I'm trying to say. All I'm trying to do is say, hey, did you know that you don't have to... get locked up in jail because you're traveling in your automobile without a driver's license and there's no registration. And people look at you like you've suddenly gone off the deep end and insulted the integrity of the office of the President of the United States. They look at you like you've become un-American because you don't want to succumb to tyranny. And that's the funniest part, is that it really is tyranny, and no one seems to want to pay attention to it as tyranny. We have this overwhelming control on our society. We have this overriding of your thought. We're given encouragement to go waste time and money and energy on things that have zero value or purpose or give us any kind of anything to our lives, and then are told that if we don't accept it and enjoy the broken broom handle that's gliding in and out of our rectum without any lubrication whatsoever, we're totally un-American and unpatriotic and they deserve to be kicked out of the country. Firing squad.
Yeah.
Let me abuse you and tell me how much you love it.
But they say all this stuff about how you should control them, you should be like the other people and stuff, but they can't actually do anything if you don't.
Right.
All they do is like thumb their nose at you, sort of thing, give you funny looks. Well, I'm assuming that's the same in America. Probably even more obvious in America. But you end up losing friends that you never had in the first place. Because they always say, "Oh, you might lose all your friends." Well, they were never your friends in the first place. They were basically spies.
Yeah. Well, and it's
to keep you in check. They were people who'd been sent out by their parents to keep you in check because their parents knew your parents, or their parents knew about you through school,
sure.
And so on and so forth. It's like people who seem to think, they just came out of nowhere, and they got no background or history to them. Well, even if you're adopted, even if you're an orphan, you still got adopted or sort of like legal parents somewhere. Even if not actual parents, and so you've been sort of known since you were a child.
Oh yeah.
If you're always a noisy child who ended up having to be put on ribbon or whatever, they'd know about that by the time you gone to your second school. Or they didn't call American high school or something.
Right.
You'd already have that reputation. No matter how many times you moved, and even if you had moved, you'd be known as the person who was moving.
Right, exactly. And that was me for a while there.
Yeah.
So yeah. I mean, people freak out when I tell them that, I'm sure the FBI has been keeping tabs on you for quite some time.
Yeah.
Because they have, there are policies that people don't realize exist here in this country. Like, if you check certain books out of the library, or if you purchase certain books,
yep.
The way of a trackable transaction, they start a file on you.
Yeah.
These things include stuff like the Satanic Bible. They include things like any of Ayn Rand's books. They include,
That'd be quite a few people in Ayn Rand. Like, oh yeah. I think something else. Yeah. Fine.
So there are an awful lot of people who read these books that never do anything except join a semi-political group when they're in college and then go on to live regular, normal, plain old boring jobs. Get married and live plain old boring lives and always pay their taxes and do what they're supposed to. But they use these as indicating trackers to be able to find and keep tabs on people. And I have checked out a number of these books and bought a number of these books and done it most of my life, and I don't care. Let them tap me.
It makes no difference.
Right. Exactly. I mean, if they want to know about me, they're going to find out. I mean, Jesse Ventura, who I really respect an awful lot, I think he's a rather brilliant individual. He should have spent more time trying to clean up Minnesota as a governor. Part of his one of his books, he talks about when you're governor of the state, you get basically cleared through the CIA, the local CIA, so that you know that they're there, they know that you're there, and it's basically keeping tabs and stuff. And he obviously can't reveal any names or anything else, but he was talking about the CIA officers that were in this dark, deep room, 2 or 3 sub-basement levels below the Capitol building there in Minnesota, and that there were individuals there who wore the all-dark suits and the black glasses and everything else, but there were an awful lot of CIA operatives that were considered high-level CIA operatives that you wouldn't be able to tell the difference from if you passed them on the street.
Oh yeah, I know. I've had the same interview. Yeah, he was saying you got everybody there that you'd see in like your regular life. You'd got like the old woman, like the old crazy woman with the mad hat who feeds like pigeons. If you've seen the TV series The Prisoner, it gives you some idea of how this thing works, because that's how it works in England, and I'm assuming that's now how it works in America, depending on like how important you are. It's the government. Every walk of life. You've got the pizza boy, pizza delivery boy, like person who came around when you had a fire in your house, you'd be there. Obviously, like police, undercover police. Everything you can imagine, every sort of job you can imagine, there's somebody that is a representative of the CIA.
Sure.
And over here, there'll be just they'll be part of the Secret Service or MI5 or MI6 or some other organisation. Just a, government organisation. And a lot of them work for multiple organisations anyway. A lot of them double agents. It was something they started. That was something that became common practice, at least in the Second World War. You obviously got 007, but the 00 just to imply it's double agent. But I mean, in the Second World War, you had all the English intelligence people who ended up working with German intelligence, and that's how they gained intel on the Germans, is by trading English intelligence, or Axis versus Allied intelligence. And so they go from one side to the other. Even Alistair Crowley was apparently a double agent.
Who was?
Alistair Crowley.
Yeah,
The Great Beast, whatever-ish.
Well, and the problem is that, first of all, because the U.S. was as far removed from the actual theaters of conflict of World War II, both the Pacific and the European theaters, we have such a distorted history on it in the first place. But in the second place, we have such a controlled amount of history that people don't even realize that. They think they go to school and that they get taught actual things about what really happened, and it's just force-fed propaganda to keep people nationalistically attached to America as the greatest country because they sell the New World Order you do the Pledge of Allegiance every single morning. Yeah. School starts, but the double agents, the double agent elements, never get talked about.
No, they've been hush-hush. It's only recently come out they were so prevalent. America did best off in that war, basically, because they came in last. And so by the time they joined in, put their foot in properly, I think that was after Pearl Harbor, wasn't it, when they got forced into the Second World War. They had intel taken from the Axis and Allies, so you got like England, Germany, France, Spain, Italy, all that had given them intel because they just passed it around and it was worth almost nothing by then. It's sort of like I don't know, like cards, specialised cards, like those Pokemon games and all that sort of stuff.
Right.
It's sort of like that. You get one thing, like a piece of intel that seems like junk to most people, but it's actually really valuable. And so that gets traded around by all the agents over from England over to England to Germany, and then maybe to France, and then back and forth. And then by the time after 3 years or something, it's pretty much worthless info, except in reference that it might happen again, sort of thing. So by the time, I think it was 1943, around there, wasn't it, that Americans joined in, back at Midway, they kind of joined in through the Japs. So the Japanese started getting all aggro when they started, they thought they could take over the world, and they enormous supercontinent of Japan.
Yeah, the thing that's divided by a gigantic mountain range. And, yeah,
I know. It's even smaller than England, I think, if I remember right. Japan. We're not even England, we're United Kingdom,
I don't know about the square footage, but I definitely know that as far as usable land surface, yeah, it's definitely.
You're talking hundreds of miles of area. That's all. It's not. It's a tiny island.
Yeah, it's 3 different islands, the Japanese islands, but yeah, they're not big, and they certainly got the idea that they could take over the world.
Yeah, they managed to get into China a bit.
Yeah.
I think they got into Hong Kong, but even then they got just ridiculously greedy.
Oh sure, of course. Well, that's again. Unfortunately, I don't think our information is detailed enough on Japan and its historical, political significances. It's really easy for us to sit and talk about how Hitler and the Nazi Party was really nothing more than the continued expansion of fascism. It was still trying to promote a new world order. It was still a precursor brand to try and stimulate. Because, all wars are created. World War II was started to help make more money.
Yeah.
For the entire giant industrial military complex. World War II had absolutely no other reason to exist other than for it to be about money and power, and the consolidation aspects of it. How many British bankers were playing both sides?
All of them, I expect.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, only right at the top, and of course that'd all be kept undercover. They would tell their underlings. There's no reason for them to be told.
Right.
But yeah, they would probably have their own accounts in Swiss bank accounts or something. I'm just guessing, somewhere that'd be unaffected by the war. And of course, Churchill had a secret bunker and all that he was supposed to retreat to in case the Nazis invaded England. Totally. It's all it gets a bit weird because apparently the Nazis did invade England, lots of different places, and they just ended up just going on shooting parties and shooting grouse and stuff like that. So I don't actually know about that, whether that's true, but that they did seem to get fooled pretty simply. They didn't seem to have that much intel themselves.
Right.
Because you might have heard the story that when they came over, they'd switched all the signposts and stuff like that. And the Nazis were taken totally by surprise because it would say 7 miles to London or something, which is totally ridiculous when you're on the coast. But it would say something like that, and they'd follow that because the signpost said so.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense. I think it's some stupid lie. You'd think they have better agents in England to actually give them a roadmap, for instance. Why are these Germans following the signs? They're just tourists, German tourists.
Nice.
Yeah, it is a bit strange. So it's possibly there wasn't any landing. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe that was all a lie. There's a lot of history that just be totally made up. There's no real way of proving it one way or the other. You think if 100,000 Germans tried to come over here, at least 80,000 would get through, and they wouldn't just spend all day going to the general store and post office and all that. Whatever the hell they actually end up doing. Certainly wasn't any organised invasion.
Right.
Suddenly their brains got muddled by the time they crossed the channel.
Well, I guess it depends on how they were crossing the channel, though. They were swimming, maybe they just got too exhausted and they just figured out.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. Suddenly they decided they liked it on the beach and they had deck chairs ready, waiting for the German soldiers to sit on. And as soon as they saw the deck chairs, they went, "This is mine!"
Right? This is mine?
Yeah, just like they are on holiday. It's like they would move from there.
Weren't we coming over here to do something at one point, guys? Who cares?
Get me ice cream.
All right. Well, there was a movie done a number of years ago called Mediterranean, and it was the story of during World War II, an Italian boat crew that was part of the Italian army, the Mussolini's army and everything. Their boat broke down or drifted or listed or blown in a storm against one of those small Greek isles. And there was nothing there to be able to fix the parts in the boat. They couldn't leave or anything. And they just wound up staying there for the duration of the war. And then when the news came that the war was over, they all kind of went, oh, well, good. We didn't really want to leave here anyway. And I found it to be a rather interesting theory that if you take soldiers away from war and dump them in a place where they can just relax, chances are they're not going to really want to go back to fighting.
Yeah. War weariness supposedly sets in after a few weeks. Or probably hours most of it. Yeah, they do just get sick of it. Or the constant marching and obeying orders and carrying around the equipment and
But you have to do it. You
got to.
If you don't defend your country against those evil people over there who are out to just destroy your entire way of life and hate you for your freedoms. They hate your freedoms.
They use the same technique with the terrorists now. Have you seen Inglourious Bastards?
I actually did have the opportunity to see Inglourious Bastards. Was less than completely thrilled with it, to be honest with you. I'm generally a Tarantino fan, too.
Yeah.
It was, I did like the idea of carving a swastika into the foreheads of, soldiers and Nazi soldiers and letting them live. I think that was a brilliant idea, but I was less thrilled with the whole movie. It certainly was no Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, was Fix saying okay? Oh, I think he's trying to get online. Thing is, did you know what the end sequence was about? The theatre with the ghosts, whatever? I was sort of getting ahead of myself. When the woman said outside inside the theatre and like Hitler gets shot to pieces.
Right.
That was basically the spirit of Lilith coming back to avenge him for betraying. I suppose Jewish womanhood or whatever.
Sure.
The actual scene was based on a vision he had. Hitler had this vision of that thing happening. So it was one of those could have happened sort of things. And at the last moment he changed venues. He decided that he didn't want to go there because of what happened in the movie. Because he'd seen all that happening. So it was like a close call. It could have happened. I don't actually know where I got that info from, but I do remember having heard it. They had that vision, the exact same vision. What they've done is they put that vision into the movie. Because his life is full of visions. He's always had visions. Like the Nuremberg rally and stuff was inspired from one of his visions. Everything leading up to it was just based on his own visions. And he was a bit of an architect and stuff like that, so I wouldn't be surprised if he designed the buildings using that rally and stuff as well.
Gotcha. Well, I only really saw the movie once, and I certainly haven't done any research or investigating into it, but it certainly came across as being rather pro-American and pro-Jewish. And definitely,
yeah, it was a bit, wasn't it?
Very, very much so. Very much so. I mean, and not that I'm saying I'm sitting here and sympathizing with the Nazis or anything, but it's something else again.
I think he was playing it safe, to be honest. He wasn't really going to be bothered with the really sort of religious, racial, political stuff. He never is. Right. He did when he did Hostel, he found out that it wasn't all made up like he thought it was. He found out it was a bit more truth to it than he expected, and so he got freaked out. And when Hostel 2 came out, that wasn't actually done by him, that was done by Lionsgate Films. Different people. I don't actually know who wrote the script, but that was really good, Hostel 2. I prefer that over the first one. But yeah, first it was just like, oh, this is the stories people make up when we're on holiday. Tourists. It's like, no, actually it happens. That's what happens to missing people. Sort of glamorise it a little bit, and it does happen on a bigger scale. A lot of it's just like out and out slaughter, but it's sort of modernised Grimm's fairy tales. I don't know if you've heard of those. Stuff from the 1800s, I think they were, like Brothers Grimm. These two are Germans. They wrote horror stories, and they're all based on folk tales and fairy stories. But there's quite a bit of truth to the Hostel stories, especially Hostel 2 with the where they start trading the people, like putting a bounty on their heads, so how much to have them killed.
Really? Now you see, I haven't seen any of the Hostel movies, so I
Okay.
don't know.
Yeah.
Horror movies generally aren't my big thing.
No, that's it. I think people saw it. Oh, he's making a horror movie, but it's actually like really more of a factual horror movie.
Like a social critique.
Yeah. Okay. The story behind Hostel is these people go on a hostel somewhere in Eastern Europe. I think it ends up being Latvia. Okay. And they go out. They're going there to have a good time. You know, shag local girls and do cheap drugs and get drunk and all this sort of like decadent stuff. And they don't get what they want at any point. They find out they've been introduced into this system that's down to have them killed. You know, they're there for the pleasure of the partially the locals, but also the elite that's in there. And there's one point where this guy goes onto this art museum to meet this whore.
Great place to meet women, especially whores.
Yeah, I think that's what he's expecting. He's expecting it to like be a rendezvous point, and maybe get a bit of token culture at the same time, or banging the whore. And
you know, once again, we come back to the idea that if you just mix information and culture with sex, we can hook a whole group of people to pay attention to us. Go ahead.
Yeah. And it works. Yeah. And it turns out it's basically like a death camp. It's the gallery's like this farce. You go through the security door, and there's all people being tortured and stuff like that, and they're all other tourists. And so it's total swing around. It's a converted military base or something. And the second one's even bigger and worse than that. And I think he runs through it. There's all these people being tortured and stuff, and he's like, ah! He's absolutely spastic. And like you see this like one of his friends gets dismembered in front of him or mutilated, and I think he like steals somebody's uniform or something. He runs upstairs, and there's this guy going there, like he was like boasting about all women he's had sex with, and like he's, you know, like while he was killing them and raping them and all that sort of stuff. And this guy was just like sort of like just nodding and trying to agree with him, and he's going, no, don't you think so? At him, and like looking at him really hard. But yeah, it was like sort of like the underworld and what really goes on there. And most people just can't even accept that stuff even happens. That was what it was really about. It was about these people who wanted a sort of decadent lifestyle, and they didn't care who they screwed over. But the other people, like locals and stuff, and the whores were out to harvest his organs. This one particular guy, because basically one guy survived it, the rest of them got harvested or whatever. They were out to harvest his organs, and she had like a shopping list of various parts of his anatomy. And he was like,
awesome!
Yeah, I know. He was like, $10,000? Is that all I'm worth? Is that all I meant to you? So I think,
man,
yeah, I thought it was a pretty good movie.
Certificate. They could have gotten a lot more money then.
A what?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Harvesting organs.
Yeah.
And that happens. Maybe I don't go visit any of those socialist countries.
Yeah. Well, it happens in China, doesn't it? That's pretty well known that they do organ harvesting in China. But I think they get a special rate for non-locals. I think it was because they're Americans. they're American tourists. He's like, we hate you, Americans.
Well, but you figure that they wouldn't want the American organs, considering how much crap we put into their bodies.
I think they like the torturing part of them better. It's the Americans being like considered really decadent by a lot of other cultures.
I can understand and appreciate that. There are large groups of people that I could probably gain quite an awful lot of pleasure out of not having a good day.
Yeah.
We'll put it mildly, not having a good day. Sorry, folks. Apologize about removing that lung of yours, but you still got one. You should be alright.
Yeah. You didn't really need it.
Right? I'm only taking one liver. You still got another one, don't you? Now, well, I guess I'll have to sit down and watch those movies just to get a better understanding, because now they sound like they might actually be entertaining. Less horror and sound more thrilling.
Yeah.
That I can do with.
I think it's unofficially approved by the European Union.
Unofficially approved, right.
That's the impression I get of people.
Or released everywhere except the United States.
That's it, yeah. I think they like it because it gets people scared of stepping out of line, so it's quite popular because of that.
Well, sure. Well, and once again, we get back to the whole control factor.
Yeah.
Hey, Hollywood, thank you for looking out for our best interests. Keep conformity on the rise and keep the common person from being able to have any kind of power, information. Keep feeding us your wonderful piles of filth and crap. Let it all rain down on us. We enjoy rolling around in it. We the cattle, we the small-minded, puerile infidels.
Yeah, burger chomping and smoking massive joints and all that sort of stuff.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Carrying huge, massive guns and like blowing up like 50 children at a time. In the name of freedom!
Well, of course.
God bless America.
Alright, yeah, God bless
America. That Iraqi kid never was him to them.
Well, people here just have such an inability to even see through the simplest levels of control problems. After the staged Reagan assassination attempt in the 1980s, and Bill Brady's bill finally got passed, in which, it was a great gun legislation and everything else, and they keep creating new gun laws and more gun laws, and it's to a point where if I wanted to buy a handgun, I'd have to wait. Not only do I have to go through a background check, but I'd have to go through a waiting period. And people think this is wonderful because it keeps guns out of the hands of criminals. People can't just go buy guns. Guns are bad and evil. And the truth is that if I wanted a handgun right now that was unregistered, that I could go use for a killing spree, they're not that hard to find or get your hands up. And I wouldn't even have to buy it. I could just, rent it for a couple of hours. It's people get so forced into, you must accept the control that we are telling you to accept, because if you do not accept the control, then, well, we're going to control you even worse. We'll put you in jail. And that's in jail, buddy. Well, and that's the biggest threat that they use over here is you want to do everything you can to not go to jail. We've so stimulated ourselves into being such fools, and that's why I think so much of the rest of the world has such a low opinion of Americans, because we are so easily fooled, so easily tricked into accepting things, because, well, if you don't, then you're threatening the state and you'll go to jail. I don't want to go to jail. I tell people some of these Freeman's things, and they're like, yeah, well, what happens when you go to court? I'll go to court. What happens if they haul you and throw you in the lockup? Well, then I get hauled in and I get thrown in the lockup. Man, no way, man, I've never won. Because we are taught and trained to fear authority. And anything in a uniform is authority, and you should fear them. I would love it if our police officers could not carry tasers or handguns. If all they had to hit you with was a billy club, we might have a fair fight on our hands.
Harsh words.
Right. If that were their only weapon, I think we'd win. Ding, 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 ding. Thank you. Bye-bye. But we
You, sir, I'm a Wally! Ah!
Oh, look how funny you look standing there with that tin badge on.
Yeah.
Aren't you amusing? It would at least keep things realistic. But, you know, I have had police officers who will look at me, and if I don't answer their question fast enough, they put their hand on their gun. And that's their instant knee-jerk reaction is, hey, look at this. I see that? I just wish I could look back at them and go, yeah, I've got a water pistol, I can shoot you in the face too. But, you know, you can't do that because then, of course... I mean, I've had them push me just to get out of their way. I'm not doing anything, I'm standing there enjoying my right to stand where I want to stand, I'm not in anyone's way. And they'll just literally walk right into me and push me. Just to be intimidated, just to be a jerk, just to be a prick. And they have no idea that they have absolutely zero power except that which we gave to them. And, if we gave them the power, we can take that power away. But people don't want to know that. People don't want to think like that. It's easier to accept the authority figure center. And part of that's because we're constantly told that we're children. You know, the New World Order wants us to continually believe that we're children, and we need these very rich and powerful and successful and wealthy people based on Aristotle's and Socrates, a whole theories of how government should operate and be, and, you know, it's got to be a top-down control by the golden elite, who are given, to them is given the task of determining the fate of everyone. No way. Not me, buddy. Not happening. Not today. Not this year. But then you get everyone spread out into so many different groups, and, you know, you get people like Alex Jones who incite one level of yelling, and then you get the Waco situation that gets people all hyped up, and then they start staging attacks to get people believing that there really is an enemy, and then they make all of us into the enemy because we don't agree with the party line. Who was it who said never believe anything until it's been officially denied?
I've heard that one.
Remember who said that, but, you know, as soon as the official line comes out, I'm going to believe the opposite. Every single time. Anyway, that's enough of my ranting and raving and digressing. Because I can go to speak to be loud and angry all day long. But I won't. So, well, we managed to squeeze an hour and a half out just on the two of us, and I think that's pretty talented.
So that's quite
David's sitting and asking me a couple of questions here. He just let me know that ketchup is classified as a veggie.
Are you still doing this lame-ass program?
Always. Thank you for joining us.
The legend returns!
Bum-bum-ba-dum, bum-bum-ba-dum.
I'm not married to the Freeman Society.
Pardon?
I'm not married to the Freeman Society.
So?
No.
So?
That's what he's been saying for the last hour. Saying so.
Freaking lame program.
Well, now that you're back, I'm sure everything will turn around and it will just wonderful.
The excitement returns, yeah.
Woohoo! We need official lame theme music.
So did Vicious the Cat host it while I was gone?
Vicious the Cat did a fantastic job. His paws were a little too big to, press any buttons, but he did enjoy chasing the mouse a lot.
He is one sharp guy. Sure.
We did go down.
Yeah, we filled up an hour and a half worth of time. Didn't get a show. But we were here.
It's pretty entertaining, I think. Entertaining yourselves, a bit.
Plus, we had a couple special guests stop by. 5-year-old boy from England who sounds like the Queen.
Yes.
He was amusing. And Joe Terrabon.
What is it you lesbians do?
There you go. There it is.
I love how the guy's been gone for an hour and a half. Hour 8 said.
He's got arms and legs on or something. He's like Transformer.
No, I wanted to give you an opportunity here, Lenny, to rant and rail and rave about how much you hate the Jews.
Oh, that'll be fine. Yeah, good show. Brilliant.
Well, no.
This week's guest is Abe Foxman. It's going to be great.
Is who?
This week's guest, Abe Foxman.
I don't know who that is, so I guess that's an ironic joke totally lost on me.
It's Jewish name, I expect.
I would guess so. It's kind of hard to make out what he's saying there in the background. It sounds like he's reapplying tinfoil to his windows.
It's Abe Foxman, head of the ADL. He's going to be our guest coming up in the next hour. It'll be great.
Oh, that's awesome!
Right.
Cool.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe we can get the guys from the Southern Poverty Law Center next year.
Right, and see what new false flag terrorism they're planning with. The new McVeigh.
It's a great idea. Just
Great. They did the last one, SPF. SLPCO.
Maybe we can get Glenn Beck and Alex Jones to both appear on the show at the same time.
Right.
Yeah.
That would be radio history right there.
Well, see, it's not that I hate them or that we hate them. It's that they hate us and that they arrange their own opposition. So there's really no opportunity for us to hate them. They manage both parts, all parts. You know.
Must be nice to be in charge of your fan club and your hate club.
Right. I mean, I'm sure we wouldn't do the kind of things that they arrange to have done. You know.
We could try.
Well, plus they could never depend on us to get on camera at the right time, you know what I'm saying?
Sure. Hold on.
And I don't have any fertilizer, so...
Yeah, I ran out of news articles to read. They're all like child sex abuse scandals in the Vatican, shock horror, topic really.
Yeah. Oh, really? They're molesting children? No.
Yeah, I know.
Not the priests.
Yeah.
And the Pope is drinking their blood?
Probably. Be surprised. Father Frater Murphy is accused of attacking up to 200 children during 20 years at school for deaf children in Milwaukee, and so on. So
well, see that. But that doesn't put him in as higher ranks as the group that's molesting that with Down syndrome. Holly Green. Yeah. I mean, if you're going to be doing it, you want to be doing it with the single most or least attractive girl on the human spectrum. There, I mean, that's. Did you see? It all sounds great until you see a picture of her, and then you can't figure out what the deal is.
Yeah, what's the fuss? Yeah. They're so desperate paedophiles, they're failures of paedophiles because children aren't actually attracted to them.
Oh my God! How can they get? I can't sit in the same room with someone who looks like that, let alone. No.
So they end up having to have sex with spastics or whatever.
Oh my God! That's why it's such a crime. These people are already such leeches and just the grossest people on earth, and then they got to do it with her too. Oh my God!
Everybody else just walks away from them.
Right.
Well, maybe they were just going for the most debasing element that they possibly could for themselves.
Oh.
Yeah,
maybe it was an initiation right.
Well, they're
the
just
whole village or town, what it was.
Yeah, it was most of the village.
Wow.
Yeah, they all got to do with Holly Greig.
Yeah. Holly Greig was the centre of this sex abuse scandal, and she's got Down syndrome, and it turns out that the whole community was having sex with her at some point.
Talk about being the belle of the ball. I mean, wow.
Well, every town has to have a bicycle that everyone gets to ride.
Yeah, it's great. How much fun that is. That's great. Yeah, creepy.
Well, yeah. I think we're just overstimulated on sex scandals. I see all these teachers having sex with their students, and I'm thinking to myself, the teachers that I would have wanted to have sex with when I was in high school, it would have never happened. Where were you, lawn
Why
teachers,
not?
When I was in school?
See, if you'd been more retarded, it could have happened. You know what I mean? You were fixing your hair. You could have been ruining your hair. You could have been in. If only you'd have like stuff on your face and didn't tuck in your
I'll
shirt.
have to try harder at that next time, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
You could have been drooling, having sex with the teacher.
Does that actually work, huh?
Yeah.
Now where is this town, this village that you're supposed to have done all this collectively?
Apparently it's in Scotland.
Oh, well, there's the other problem then. I've got to move to Scotland and, just be one step above the sheep.
No, they have creeps everywhere. They're creeps. Yeah, they don't have a monopoly on creeps.
There's nothing else to do in Scotland, though.
Well, you can
Apart
borrow.
from have sex with ugly women.
I hear what you do there is borrow money.
Yeah, that's where all the big banks.
What was that one? The Monty Python poet. Can you lend me a few bub? It was the greatest poetry of all time. It was about borrowing money.
Oh yeah. I do know. I know there is a Scottish poet apparently. Scotland's just like a wilderness. And it's really cold as well.
Yeah, that's why Paul McCartney had to hide up there when he changed his head. Got a new head.
Now you see, I want to see those pictures. I want to see the picture of Paul McCartney's head at those two different time periods because I have yet to see this, and I think
I've seen it already, didn't I?
No.
Yeah.
Nope, you didn't show me Paul McCartney's head. You talked to me about it, but you never showed me the competition.
Here we go. I have a poem from Ewan McTeagle. Ready? To my own beloved lassie, a poem on her 17th birthday. Lend us a couple of bub till Thursday. I'm absolutely skinned, but I'm expecting a postal order, and I can pay you back as soon as it comes. Love, Ewan. That's the fine poetry of Scotland.
I'm weeping.
Yeah.
I'm moved.
I'll be right back.
Oh dear.
I'm leaving again.
Yeah, and then in Ireland, it's all a scam about them having culture in the rest of the United Kingdom. In Ireland, they've got that. I remember his name eventually. He did the Odyssey or something, or Ulysses.
James Joyce.
James Joyce, yeah. And I didn't bother reading his book, but I saw like the movie they made of one of his books, and I just scrubbed it. And it's all fucking porn references. It's all like sexual innuendo. It's ridiculous.
So's his books.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, it's really deep and meaningful. And it's like, oh, is that not a sexual reference?
Right. all the greatest books in human history have been about sex.
Mm-hmm.
Here locally, they host the Shakespeare Festival here in the town that I live in, and this year, for the first time, the group that puts on the plays has decided to do a couple of precursor performances at some of the area high schools. I mean, they're doing Romeo and Juliet, and the schools are getting freaked out because of the sexual innuendos that they perceive coming from when the performers are on stage reciting these Shakespearean lines that people think are supposed to be, this great immortal bard who wrote the most beautiful stuff in history is actually exceptionally bawdy. And, you teach your ninth graders all about Romeo and Juliet, which is the basis for all of Hollywood love stories, and then get mad at people when they actually perform it the way it was originally written. People don't realize that the greatest books and stories and plays in history are always about sex. I stand by that.
Yeah, I knew that from like an early age, and so I always tried to avoid stories that are overtly about sex, and so I ended up reading science fiction because that's the most sterile sort of reading material you can find.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the best writer is called Philip K. Dick.
Do androids dream of electric sheep?
I'm not sure. I think that's the only book of his that I've never read. I think I've read every single other book of his. It's quite ironic.
Yeah.
But he wrote loads of stuff that's been interpreted into loads of movies, and other people talked about him, especially like the Truth movie. But yeah, it was the original storyline that became totally cool, unfortunately.
Well, Blade Runner.
Blade Runner was Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep.
Right, that was, it was probably one of the most highly acclaimed and wonderfully done science fiction films of the 1980s. And Most people have never read they've only read the Blade Runner book that was published after the movie. They haven't read Philip K. Dick's original things. So I find it funny that you reference him, but then, of course, haven't read the only book like him that I have read.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, you're kind of wrong, because he's, like, really highly read, Philip K. Dick. Most people have read him. In science fiction, anyway, he's, like, one of the biggest names. He's got Isaac Asimov, Arthur C. Clarke, Philip K. Dick, then maybe Robert Silverberg, and after them, maybe a few times, Clifford B. Seamack. You've probably got Harry Harrison above that.
No, you lost me.
Ben Dover is somewhere around there. Heinlein is probably on about the third or fourth in that list. But Philip K. Dick is like massively read. Millions and millions of people read him. But his storylines have been converted into loads of films, but I don't think any of them have done a direct translation. A Scanner Darkly tried it, so it looked like it gave the impression that it looked like it tried it at first, and then it sort of like changed it a bit. So there haven't been any direct translations, but it's really better in book format.
Well, the Hollywood does that to absolutely everything.
Yeah, his material would work better on radio, I think, than it does on TV, because the radio you just like speak over the thing. You don't have to worry about the special effects, and they're not distracting.
Fair enough. Oh yeah, again.
They don't distract from the storyline, so I was reading some for me.
But you mentioned Heinlein. I used to actually really, really like Heinlein until I started reading more and more of the stories, and that guy is nothing more than a complete and utter tool of the NWO. I mean, his whole Future Earth series, his whole concept of the creation of where Earth is going to go is some massive society in which everyone agrees on the societal rules, and if you disagree with the societal rules, you get tossed out of civilization to go live in the wild, archaic, anarchic, savage lands and everything else. So, it's Brave New World style of a mentality, but it's cast as being the better choice. Whereas Brave New World sets up that highly stylized and overly controlled sterile environment is, the crushing, defeating element in people's lives. Heinlein portrays it as being the glorious salvation of humankind.
Yeah. Phil Spector, who's nothing like Lenny Bruce, obviously, is saying, didn't Philip K. Dick just rip off Byzantine sources, Heinlein too? But
well, that's just because Phil is just proselytizing for the Byzantine Church.
I know, he's just like, why are you name dropping this weird Byzantine thing? They don't even exist. They were just made up. It's a book of fiction.
Didn't we execute and kill all of those people like hundreds of years ago?
Are they related to the Venusian warlords of Wallachia or something? They were written in a 1952 science fiction book. Now you believe it.
right. Now, oh yeah, wow. See, he's not really. Phil isn't really even his aunt himself. He's facilitizing for them. He's a tool of the New World Order, ladies and gentlemen. He's here just to disrupt everything and so dissent. Yep. That's why would you even add if they get ripped off Byzantine sources?
I don't even see a connection.
He just thinks culture starts and ends with him.
Yeah. Well, okay, I can give you a bit of background on Philip K. Dick. I've got his book of his kind of diary. It's called The Dark-Haired Girl. And it's really good, actually. It's like a collection of his writings, personal writings. You've got to be really into psychology to appreciate it. And he's got loads of sort of portraits and things of him. And I don't know. Interesting to me, he looks a bit like King Henry VIII. And he had 6 wives as well. So that was mildly interesting. He was born in 1928 and died in 1982. It's reversal of numbers. Let's see. His life was pretty strange. He started off by writing spaghetti westerns, but he did too much character depth when he was writing them because he's really into psychology. So his characters had too much depth, so he couldn't do spaghetti westerns for long. But I don't know if his spaghetti westerns actually caught on. I don't know what movies they've been made into, but he's sort of like a natural sort of like, he's got a natural talent for doing things that end up on the screen. So people just tended to rip off his ideas. And so he became like this sort of manic writer, and eventually ended up in, I think, I don't know, California, let's say, some place like California. And he lived in sort of like an open house that was like full of drug addicts and stuff coming through, and like party girls, and he was always going out to parties and stuff. And even like up to when he's 40, he still was like dating like 20-year-old foxy chicks or whatever. And he's apparently on amphetamines his whole life. And he's working like 14 hours a day. On the typewriter, just like hacking out loads of materials. And he had this like exegesis in about 1980 or so, where he started like having direct conversations with God and all that sort of stuff. And like in the 70s, he started speaking too serious, and he was going like the transmissions are better between the hours of 3 and 6 in the morning or something like that. And so he started getting a bit wacky around the 70s and early 80s. But he wrote loads and loads of books and short stories, absolutely hundreds of them in total, like, and covered a whole wide range of things. But you've got like he wrote one called Second Variety, which basically is the same as Terminator, as in the new Terminator, like Terminator 3 and 4, where you've got these Terminator robots from 5 different models. It's set in a sort of like apocalyptic wasteland. Everyone lives under bunkers. And they pop their heads out once in a while in order to see any survivors and to pick up, and more importantly, to pick up supplies from between the bunkers. And they're fighting against this machine that can like imitate humans. It sends out these robots that imitates humans, and they've been basically in 5 models. And one of the models is called David, I think, or it might just be what I call him. And he's like this little boy carrying a teddy bear, and it's appealing to like the paternal side of them, because this machine doesn't have human emotions, but it understands them. It's like read them, and it understands them as weaknesses. So this little robot holding a teddy bear would be like, "Oh, I've lost my parents. Have you seen my parents?" sort of thing. Yeah. Have big eyes and all that, and they'll let it into the bunker. When they let it into the bunker, because it's hungry or whatever. When they let it into the bunker, the teddy bear's like face will all rip up, and basically a bomb. The whole robot's a bomb. And it's like his face all like opens up, tears them all to shreds, goes into this like homicidal rage. Another good one is the Russian trooper or whatever. He smokes a cigarette, and because like cigarettes are rare or whatever, and because she's like hot Russian, they all like offer her a cigarette, or take one off her, and then she'll let to kill them through that. And she gets let through at one point into the bunker, but she's such a well-programmed robot they don't realise it. And there's one guy who's got the secret ticket to the moon sort of thing, because this is like the remains of humanity, and there's like human race is like divided. They've got most of them, like most of the elite or whatever, live on the moon, and then you got the stragglers left on Earth, but they desperately want to stay on Earth in order to reclaim it at some point. They need to gather intel on the robots and stuff in order to defeat them. And so this guy has a ticket to the rocket ship, and of course, like in the end, she kills him and takes the rocket ship to the moon. And that was written maybe in 1960 or something like that. Or 1970, well before Terminator.
Ah, wow. Nothing existed before Terminator.
Yeah, Terminator was totally original, of course.
Absolutely, what a thing. Totally new.
Totally new.
Byzantium Mania.
Byzantium Mania.
We need a song all about that. I think that we need a brilliantly written song called Byzantium Mania.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. You see,
a wrestling tournament.
Theme song. Our show needs a theme song. We need to write one called Byzantium Mania. You guys play any instruments?
I do.
Do ya?
you know.
I play the spoons.
No, I play it spoons. Yeah. I play keyboards. I don't play keyboards with some else. Well, they've taken samples from my keyboard.
Gotcha. What was that, Lenny?
We'll find you some specifically Byzantine instrument that you can practice. It'll be
Yeah,
very
they
hard.
are just fun.
Yeah.
What? I'll just ask because I'm curious. What's a Byzantine instrument?
I don't know. I just thought I might throw that word in there again.
I think the Byzantine Empire exists only in Michael Moorcock stories.
No.
It's real.
No, it's the most influential besides Tesla himself and the Chinese. That's about it for our culture. Two things. Tesla by himself, just one guy, and the Chinese and the Byzantines too. And that's about it. Nothing else is really influential at all.
Ever.
At all. Yeah. No Renaissance without us.
Right.
Have you seen the Book of Eli yet? Apparently that's the remake of Zardos.
I have not seen it.
No, it's not in Greek yet, so I haven't seen it.
Yeah, they have made a Byzantine version. Although, of course, Eli was a Byzantine diplomat.
Right.
He lived from like the 40th century BC to whatever.
Yeah, they renamed him. He was originally Tassos. It was really special.
And it was awful too because they renamed it at the last minute. They had to scrap all their posters.
Yeah.
To get rid of all the promotional material. They're going to get printed up, but it's all going for a real good price right now. You can find it on eBay.
Most important culture ever.
Yeah, apparently Phil Spector seems to think so. I wonder if
I know. I can't believe he writes in.
I know, it's fantastic. Too bad we can't get him on the show. Too bad he won't answer his phone.
Well, he tends to answer the second floor with a gun, so you don't want to get it. Don't go to his house. He's famous for that. He held John Yoko at gunpoint during the Imagine sessions.
Wasn't he the guy who was behind most of the 1960s American music?
Yes. He was the exploiter of the Brill Building with all the songwriters and all that.
Yeah. They had like it's an estate, didn't they? They had like hundreds of musicians.
Yeah, little
And, like,
offices.
Yeah.
Little tiny rooms.
Yeah. That's it. And he'd like go around the corridors and there'd be like some gimp or whatever who'd come up to him like twanging their guitar just to get into a band or get contracts.
Yeah, and then he would demand part credit for the song, even though he didn't write it.
No.
Just because they spoke to him, sort of thing. Yeah, and in exchange he'd give them like lodgings. Basically, these people are homeless, and so these people like come off the streets like begging to work for him. You know, like it all sounds really gay, actually.
I know.
I didn't imagine he was. So bummer. But yeah, he looked like didn't he have long hair and wrinkles?
Well, what's really interesting is
Cowboy
he's such an
boots.
egomaniac and he was such a well-known character that they were making fun of him in Easy Rider, and he insisted that he play himself as the guy who they sell the coke to him at the airport, and then they take off on this cross-country tour after they sell coke to Phil Spector. That was just a joke. They were going to have just a guy who looked like him. He insisted on playing himself, which shows you there's something wrong with him.
Well, you know, if you're going to be made fun of, at least let it be you and you pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, is that him with the huge afro?
Oh no, he doesn't wear an afro.
Okay, so I'm even just
You don't remember Easy Rider?
Huge afro.
Easy Rider.
This close.
Peter Fonda.
Right, Peter Fonda, Jack Nicholson, and Dennis Hopper.
Look at this. Check this photo, and I'll send you a link.
You know what photo?
He's about 60. He's got this massive afro.
Oh yes, there's no explaining his hair today, but I don't think that's him. I just pretend that isn't him.
Celebrity Justice 101, can fame and dollars buy you innocence?
Yes. He just looks so crazy now.
Phil Spector was temporarily... Oh, we got a Skype link to him, apparently. On the article. He's got a little tick right.
Oh really?
Mother Bird. Yeah, Mother
That's
Bird.
me.
Is that you?
Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah, because she was using his name. Oh.
Why do you think we're talking about him?
Yeah. Oh yeah, sorry, I was supposed to think you were Phil Spector, wasn't
Maggot's in a different time zone, I see.
I? I'll post you a link to the article. It's quite funny because as you read it, it's got a link to his Skype address.
Well, does it? It links to my Skype address?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's really screwed
It
up.
says, it says Phil Spector and it has a link, a hyperlink, and it says Mother Bertha on the info. Leave it on there.
Where? No way.
So you are Phil Spector.
How did I become Phil Spector?
Well, it's you see when
You keep stealing someone's identity, and that's what happens.
Right, exactly.
Soon I'm going to have to go to jail for him when he shoots somebody else. He waves. He's famous for waving the gun around. I don't think he's famous for firing the gun.
Yeah, he is. He's in jail, isn't he?
Yeah, but I don't think he did. He loves to wave the gun around. I agree with that, 100%.
He's supposed to have a really sort of like really common sense business approach though. And that's like what freaked everybody out.
Mm-hmm.
He was so down to earth in his business model, really exploitative. And so he had this image of being like the sort of like laid back hippie, and so people thought they could possibly screw him over, but they always got screwed over.
He was never laid back. Was he? Laid back?
Well, they had the impression from his image that it was. But when they saw him in person, they found it was really intense and stuff.
Here's the picture from East America. Although nobody can hear that.
Right.
Here he is doing coke.
Oh.
Well, checking out and staring at, figuring out, that you're Phil Spector, according to Skype, permanently. Everyone wants to talk, and we're going to come through you. On that same thing, I have to share this because it just jumped out at me.
So that anybody on the internet who's got Skype, who looks up Phil Spector,
It's me.
he's going to be giving the link to you.
No.
So that's quite a good, quite a good bit of PR there. Really.
I want his royalties too.
Heck yeah, I should start collecting on that stuff.
Be my baby.
Basically saying, you're through to the office of Phil Spector.
You have to start answering it that way.
Yeah. Yeah, you're going to have to imitate his voice, at least for long enough to get him on the show.
Have you ever gotten these mozzarella balls? I get them because The Sopranos ate them. I saw them on the TV show.
Yeah.
And I was over at Sam's and I got mozzarella balls. They're fantastic. I wonder if it's bad to eat the entire thing.
Just balls of cheese.
Yeah, but they're in. You can get them in oil or you can get them in water. And Tony Soprano ate them like they were nothing.
Just the mozzarella by itself?
Yeah.
No peanut or anything?
Well, that's how cheese comes in liquid usually.
I've never had just mozzarella balls. I'll have to look into that.
Oh, you've probably never left the United States, have you?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Only Canada, though.
Oh, it doesn't count.
We'll be sure and let them know that.
They know it.
Yeah, they kind of have to, especially when you host the Olympics and the Zamboni breaks down, and it's your Zamboni. Come on, guys, you're Canada. Didn't you invent the Zamboni?
No, it's a meaningless country. They're sort of like America Light, or like America without guns or something. I mean, it's just a waste of time. I just want to point that out to our American Freeman up there. Canadian
Right.
Freeman. They all think they're so important because they got to this stuff first. We are the world, and you're not.
So let me share this with you, Lenny, just because I know you'll find this something pretty amusing out of it. Attached to one of those links and pages we were looking at. 7-year-old boy pretty sure God hates Jews.
Really?
The traveling hate circus of Westboro Baptist Church swung from Capitol Hill on its current Denver Boulder tour.
Oh, no, I love them. They're fantastic. Have you ever seen that place? Then they had that Louis Theroux from England went over there. Mm-hmm. That is the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. That is comedy on acid. And that Fred, he's the head of it. I don't want to call him a preacher because he's not. He's ridiculous. But I mean, that is the king of funny right there. That is number one. Nothing is funnier than the Westboro Baptist Church. God hates fags. God hates America. They've got all these slogans, and then they sing the national anthem as if God hates America. Really? Oh, I see.
Yeah, God Hates Fags is a website as well.
I heard about him on the Stern Show.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
GodHatesFags.com. Again, there's a little slight drop one.
Yeah, Michael Hutchison loves that too. We can't get enough of that. He keeps passing me links and it's just a scream.
Just weird.
No, it's funny.
Rabbis, whores.
Come on, let's get the Talmud out, man. There's no defending that religion. It's ridiculous. They're not the people of the Old Testament.
I'm not
If
trying to
they were.
defend anything. I'm just...
No, I mean, if they were, man, they could defend something. But like, the truth is, they're so screwed. It isn't funny. I would, get in the body bag, zip it up, and put your name tag on, and just wait for us. We're coming. Come on. I mean, that's sick. To find out the truth of that religion is outrageous. Islam is no walk in the park. I mean, what do you think the scimitar is for?
Right.
When you find out the truth of Judaism, man, there's no getting around it. It sucks, man. They're not even the right people anyway. If okay, let's say that is the religion, which is they came up with that since the time of Christ. That's bogus. They're not even the right people anyway. If they're God's chosen, they're not God's chosen. The people who chose themselves. Damn it.
Sure.
I mean, you're not even racist because they're not even one coherent race, and they're lying. So it's like you call me, you're mad at me, and I insist that you're anti-Chinese. Well, I'm not Chinese. I mean, I'm a nut. I mean, think about that.
Right.
If I convert to Hinduism, do I get a free homeland in India? No.
You don't?
No.
I have to revoke my
It's still
institution.
a bad line, then, because I've got a couple places in India now.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I enjoy converting and then changing my name and converting again.
I want to become an Eskimo. I'm going to live in Jamaica, though.
Doesn't that defeat the whole point of becoming a Hindu if you only do it to get some area of land?
Well, that's the only reason that I've ever considered switching to Judaism. I figure if I do that enough times, maybe I can purchase up all of the West Bank.
Well, see, you'll have a right of return to a place you've never been before. As if the Bible says, meanwhile, 3,000 miles away, this unrelated group of Turks... Yeah, right.
You didn't see that part of the Bible?
No, I never saw that. George Lucas rewrite it?
Yes. He and Steven Spielberg worked on it together.
That's how great. That's wonderful. Maybe we'll get Francis Ford Coppola to work on it, too.
No, they're coming out with the movie version of it. I don't think they'll have a Byzantine.
Oh, no, they'll rewrite it. It'll move to Byzantium. I understand that Fomenko rewrote it. He claims that Christ is Andronicus. So apparently the Old Testament was written after the New Testament. That Fomenko is enough to make your head explode.
Yeah, so that's why you can't see under the loincloth, because he's got a beaver.
I do. Did you say that Jesus was androgynous?
Andronicus, not androgynous.
That's that.
Oh, right.
I thought that's why Maggot. I wanted to make sure that
I didn't know what he meant.
all of a sudden going.
Jesus is a woman.
I would never say that.
I wouldn't figure so, but
It would have to make sense.
Jesus mad on the beginning.
Yeah, no, it would have to make sense.
Good one, Maggot. Bravo.
No,
The Christ with the beaver.
yeah, I thought that was a very odd line.
Well, that's why I asked. I wasn't sure.
No, they claimed you lived in 1100 or something. I never understood that book at all. We should get that John Savage on the show. He knows all about that. That guy gets it. He's in that Ogner group. And then he's the one that got me to get the book.
Well, get him on the show. We'll talk to him about it.
I know, I don't understand. He's in Hong Kong. I wonder what time zone they're in.
I don't know. It's a good question.
He's an American guy. He just lives there. I don't know why he lives there.
Maybe he likes being surrounded by a bunch of British and Chinese.
Yeah, it's mostly British in Hong Kong.
Having not been there, I wouldn't know.
Also, that guy Ryan Teen is there too. And then there's Benjamin Fulford. He lives in Japan though. Benjamin Fulford is a living end. He's really something.
He's something special.
Yeah,
certainly.
He flew that guy all the way out there. That Italian guy.
Yeah. I'll read one of his posts, one of the last ones he did in English. I'll start. Weekly geopolitical news and analysis 010426. Bill Clinton was not even allowed out of the plane when he arrived in Japan seeking money last week. That's the posted on the 19th of April 2010. In case you can't translate the 6-digit number that you put.
That's what I do.
Oh. Yeah. There are multiple signs the secret financial World War III that has been raging is reaching a dangerous climax. The Federal Reserve Board crime syndicate appears to be on its last legs. As a sign of their desperation, Bill Clinton showed up in Tokyo last week trying to cash the $134.5 billion in bonds that confiscated in Italy last year. He was not even allowed off the plane, according to a Black Dragon Society member who was on board with him.
You know, I think the Black Dragons get a bad rap. I think, they've just been put down by the White Dragons. And,
yeah. A Black Dragon flying low! It's a song. You could hear it or something.
Wow, that's a great song.
Yeah, this is one of the best songs.
Alright, it's nap time. Is this lame show going on anymore?
We got 50 minutes left in this sucker.
Damn, I'm the only one who does the show from bed. Did you guys know that?
Oh, well, that's another picture I certainly didn't need.
That's why I pass out a lot. I'm going back to bed now.
Well, as long as we haven't heard you snore yet, I think we're okay.
Yeah, that's
But, we appreciate your insight and your input there,
I haven't got the lyrics.
Yeah, where's Abe Foxman? We need him. He never shows up at Abe Foxman.
No.
No, can't depend on him.
So,
he's working right now to blame new stuff on us. It's going to be great.
well, as long as he's actually trying to do something productive, I guess it's okay.
Yeah.
No,
I'm sure we'll have a bombing right near your house and then blame it to you. It'll be great.
I don't know why.
I got the lyrics now. Black Dragon. This is the
Are
Black
you gonna
Dragon
sing for us?
I'll have a go. It's quite difficult.
I'm telling you, the cat likes this show.
Twilight saw the shadow where he saw the moonlight. Save the wizard, brave and loveless, brave and shining star. Hear me, Harry, down your father, and your glory of your God. Sit as on this castle, fighting to the point. Don't the cold, to win a homeland, who eat a mule and by his name. Over mountains of early valleys, the clinches steamer. Down the banks of the hilarious living out of law. Very parted, nasty village, children light off those paws. Have you fired reputation, oh the bloody hell? And they do the siren to keep a dead. Merciless wise and will be listening. The dragon fly high, peak in your back. Lost in the fire again. Black dragon fly high, speak your fire again.
There you go.
I think
I have a talent on this program. I just, blown away.
That's what you said. I heard it for.
I was holding my lighter up the whole time. That was good.
Did you like the bit where I said you were a fag? You probably like had a shock of it. I was continue. It's quite funny. I haven't heard this version before. It's misheard lyrics. It's obviously all drunk lyrics. I thought it was quite good.
That was absolutely perfect. I think we got our theme song now.
Yeah.
that'll be our closing music at the end of the day.
Yeah, I can sing Black Dragon. So. I know it's a classical song. I probably hit one or two notes.
Too bad Mark Bolan is dead. You know, I love the old acoustic T-Rex.
The old what?
It was called Tyrannosaurus Rex then. When they went electric, they were T-Rex, weren't they?
I have no idea who that is.
Is Mickey Finn still alive? We know that.
Tell you what?
Mickey Finn, his partner?
The one who died in a cocktail bar.
No, Mark Bolan died in a car. Oh, Mickey Finn.
But I think Mickey Finn was his guitarist or whatever.
Yeah, but he died too?
Yeah. He died in a cocktail bar, choking on a cherry pip.
Oh.
Makes death on two. I think it's the same character.
They were great. They were much better acoustic. Did you ever hear the acoustic? Like, my people were fair, and they have stars in their hair, but now they're content to wear... Wait.
Interesting. Mickey Finn, or simply Mickey, is slang term for a drink laced with a drug, especially chloral hydrate, given to someone without their knowledge.
Right.
If it's the same character who was on the cover of the Unicorn album, yeah. Yeah, no, my people were fair and had sky in their hair, but now they're content to wear stars in their brows. That was like one of their best albums. Yeah. Well, if that's the Mickey Finn that was on the cover of Unicorn, then yeah. That was the guy. That was the guy who died of choking on sherry. Yeah. They had great songs, Deborah Obed, and they always wrote about cars. So there was Jaguar and Carburetor. I mean, most of the songs were about cars. I don't know what the hell that meant. Kind of like Carburetor is the Hare Krishna. Yeah. Because the way he says it is Carburetor. Yeah. I have to find it. Oh, I already have that on my iTunes. It's the way he says it. It is supposed to be. How can you make Hare Krishna sound like Carburetor Museum? Yeah. And see, ELO always wrote about the telephone, Jeff Lynne. So I
always wrote about the telephone. I guess I'd never really thought about it that way.
They do. Ma Bell. I mean, most of the songs are about the telephone. Ma Bell, the company, yeah.
Wow. Hey, if you can make a career out of singing about something that's absolutely everyday and no one can figure it out, more power to you, I guess.
Yeah.
I wish I could do that.
Sure you can. Doorknob. That's your thing.
What is?
Doorknob. That'll be good.
Right. Every song about doorknobs.
Turn it, twist it, unlock it. I'm calling the locksmith. Yeah, see? I've worked out your first 5 albums.
That's fantastic. Great. You really are Phil Spector.
I'll be your manager.
That sounds like an absolute plan. That's great. We should do that. And since, we're making music for the masses, I don't even need a real band. Right.
See, I'll write the material, because, of course, by contract, you won't be able to write your own material. And then I can sneak in the Illuminati and Freemasonic references all the way through.
Hey, and I already have a list of people that I'm willing to sacrifice to get into the multi-billion-dollar club.
No, it's in front of an owl, just like the World Freeman Society. That's all the admins had to go to the whole thing with the owl.
Right, of course. But,
you know how hard it is to chase around a greased goat? It's very difficult.
No, how difficult is it?
I caught the damn thing.
That's fantastic.
Menard chopped the head off. Yeah.
Frank and fun.
It's tough, I thought greased pig, it was greased goat.
Boy, I can't wait for my initiation ceremony.
It's coming up. Yeah. Woohoo! We're gonna make you king of the Midwest.
Alright!
Yeah.
Somebody's gotta be it. I can be king of the Midwest. I do have a couple things that I will change if that happens. I'm going to eliminate most of Ohio and all of Indiana.
That's good. Are you going to burn it down? I'm willing to help.
I'm just going to declare it void space.
Because I'm willing to help with getting rid of Ohio. I hate Ohio. It's not just, a lot of people hate Cleveland. I hate Cincinnati.
Well, any place that won't let you have a concert.
And then everyone hates Columbus. And then, a lot of people hate Dayton, but it's so boring there. It's so boring in Dayton.
That's all the way down.
Oh God, yeah, no, that's where they almost got peace with the Israelis and the Palestinians.
Right.
The Israelis had to go right away because they were going to sign something.
Sure.
I will not bowl with you again. No more bowling. I'm sorry, you have to stay until you have an agreement. No. I will not sign.
Drink beer and bowl. Huh?
Yeah, there's nothing to do there. No, drinking is not huge. But you have to bowl. There's bowling alleys and bowling alleys and bowling alleys. There's nothing else to do there.
Golf courses?
No, just bowling alleys. That Wright-Patterson Air Force Base is there. When they found the Roswell stuff, I realized it's all lies, but the communicators all say they went to Dayton with the stuff.
Why Dayton, though? That just doesn't
Probably because it's so boring. Who would go there to find it?
Sure.
And if you went there, you'd immediately want to leave. People think I'm exaggerating about Dayton. I think you should go because you'll pull your hair out.
Fun, and I've got a lot of it to lose.
Yeah. It doesn't grow back after you've been to Dayton.
So for those of you who are wondering, this isn't a rerun. This is us actually still talking live here. I've got Doofus is carrying on a conversation with me here, and he swears that this sounds like it's all been taped before.
Has it been taped before?
I suppose we could be taped before. This could be a rebroadcast. Maybe we aren't really doing the show.
Why would you play this again?
I snuck in.
That's the key. That's how you know it's not a rerun. Nobody in their right mind would replay this. Yeah.
Well, maybe. This is my way of getting back at you for writing me out of any creative control in my my contract with you.
Well, it's Warner Brothers, so that's how we do it.
Right. Well.
If you seek Amy.
Right, exactly. If you seek Amy. See, all these nice little funny things that mean absolutely nothing to anyone else.
That's right. Oh, no, everybody knows what that is now.
Well, hopefully they should. If they don't, they're...
Then they're not on YouTube. I mean, everyone on YouTube knows what that means.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I saw the weirdest thing in the world, and I can't remember the guy's name. I saw it earlier today. There's some whacked out guy on YouTube who posts things about, finding God, finding Jesus Christ in an acid trip, and now he travels with the Sons of Thunder. Have you heard of this guy?
No.
Yeah.
Does he have to keep taking the acid to see Jesus, or is it a one-time event?
No, it's a one-time event.
Yeah, it would be.
He claims he saw Jesus in the middle of an acid trip, and it's he goes, I was seeing all this demonic stuff going on around me, and then all of a sudden I saw Jesus, and Jesus descended upon me. My acid trip suddenly vanished, and I was totally sober, and I've never taken another drug or anything else since. And now he travels all over the world apparently, and does these he calls himself a Christian mystic, and he travels all over now.
Does Jesus still take it?
Pardon?
No, Jesus is the dealer.
Oh, okay. I was wondering if Jesus still took it. I mean, I see where this guy stopped, but does Jesus still take it?
Maybe. I don't know. I didn't get that far of his conversation. I suppose Jesus might still be taking acid.
I don't think it would do anything to him. He could just snap his fingers and make whatever damage go away.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, then I think...
Jesus could do DMT then, too, right?
You can walk on water and stuff, so why not?
Right, I mean...
What's the difference?
Well, if you can walk on water, what do you need acid for?
Yeah, but I mean, you have the Holy Spirit work it out for him, Now I'm back. I didn't lose it.
Sure, I suppose. Yeah, but it was just really, really bizarre, and all I could do was sit there and listen to this, and you see all these people at his seminars and things, and they're all acting like they're drunk and whacked out, and it's just like this neo-Pentecostal idea.
They don't do the hacky sack, do they?
I didn't see them doing the hacky sack.
I hate that.
That happens a lot, actually. I've heard about that in New Age movements and stuff. A lot of the people convert to Jesus are basically washed out hippies.
Yeah, but it's not the real Jesus those guys like.
No. It's some sort of drug trippy, super hippie. Basically, they see like a druid or something. Yeah, and they're all like totally.
Well, the New
out
Age
on drugs.
Jesus. I mean, the New Age Jesus is not the right one.
No. Just a drug substitute. It's something that like triggers all their drug-induced memories. It's all a big old psyop, and they probably got like mind control devices all over this church and shit. So
I understand most of mind control is electronic now.
Yeah.
It's about
yeah.
tones
I mean,
and things.
Yeah. I always talk about the traditional methods. Yeah. But I think mind control is so like the electronic devices are so prevalent. I mean, you get like catalogs on the stuff. I've got one of them basically. It's done as a book, like an information book. Nick Begich.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can dig it.
He makes some dull videos, doesn't he?
He what?
He makes some dull videos.
Yeah.
Man,
Talks 100
dull
miles an hour.
video.
Control
I understand it's like really good stuff if you understand it. I found it really dull.
I actually think he's quite good, but he's not like well liked by the rest of the truth movement for some reason. But he can be really political, so I thought he was really good, and you should get more coverage.
All right, I'll try to watch it.
Yeah, if you can get his.
I've got him. I already have him.
Okay.
There's almost nothing I don't have. I have a lot of Nick Bagage actually, but I couldn't make it through the day.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got control of human mind, the technologies of political control or tools of people performance. And after like quite a few pages of intro and background detail, a lot of it is just like different mind control devices. As I remember, I'm looking through it now, it doesn't seem so bad. But I mean, there's like literally hundreds you can get, and you can like get them as a catalogue style, and I think they use them in clubs and stuff. Suppressing waveform technology basically stops people in the clubs getting violent. Talk about like clubs. Yeah. So you get drunk, but you kind of like you just kind of get it inhibits the
no bar fight.
So yeah, no glassing.
That's a waste. That's anti-American.
It's in England.
Well, to be honest, I
That's
haven't seen a decent scrap in years.
Well, in England, they're going to make them wear mittens even during the summer. That nobody can fight, nobody can scratch. It's going to be great. Soon they're going to sew up their feet and their hands.
Yeah, I know, it's strange because people get angry, but they don't get that angry and they don't start laying into each other. I've never seen a serious scrap.
Well, I mean, the next step is the straitjacket. Everyone in England will have the straitjacket on.
Well, no, they just increase the voltage of the mind control devices to stop people getting violent. I think that's actually what goes on, and they probably have them kinds of rules and stuff.
How do you think they subdued the Turks? I mean, these people that Rick Steves he went to every city in Europe with his bicycle, and there's a monument to where the Turks destroyed the place. How do you think they get them to just play backgammon now? Is that water fluoridation, or how do they do that? It's a whole country of people who play backgammon.
That is strange.
It's very, very odd. I mean, their normal activity is to destroy everything.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not real bright, but they do destroy stuff.
Yeah.
But now, backgammon. Just backgammon. The whole country. It's bizarro. I saw it.
It's like Winston with his girlfriend or whatever, and they don't even know each other, they like each other anymore.
Right.
But at the end of the movie, they just sit and play chess.
It's very weird.
Well, here in Michigan, they do euchre. You can't go to you can go to tons of parties, you can go to every kind of thing that you want to where people are drinking and would usually be acting stupid and ridiculous, and you always find the group of people that are sitting in a corner playing euchre.
Yeah, but you said there's 40 lodges there.
In Michigan?
No, where you are.
Oh. Yeah, there's one for every single small little town around here.
Yeah.
I mean, I can travel a distance of about 10 miles and probably see 8 or 9 lodges in a 10-mile radius of where I'm sitting right now. Yeah.
You guys sound good.
Hey,
You can actually see 8 or 10 miles.
Well, you know,
You're on the back of an eagle.
if I have to tell you guys again about my gigantic phoenix bird that I ride on the weekend, I will, but I thought we already covered it.
Did you have to burn him up?
He does that himself once a week.
You don't have doubts in your petrol.
No, he does it himself every Monday morning.
Okay. I thought he secreted the petrol oil, so I thought that was a secret.
No,
You feed him sunflower seeds and he secretes petrol oil, ignites himself by the sun rays.
It's like you're sitting and watching my house right now. How do you know this? He's right out back. I can see him. Where are you? Jeez. I knew Google Earth was a good program.
Yeah. I'm watching him remotely.
He has that plus. He has Google Earth Plus. You the pay one?
Ah, there you go. He's upgraded.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put those little silk electrodes into his brain and I'm watching through his eyes right now.
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool.
See, he's unaware that we put the implants in. See how great that is?
What's even more amusing is that they survive through burning stages. Let's tell you what, I'd rather clean up a pile of ashes outside than have to deal with, molting. I already have dogs and shit. I can't imagine picking up all those feathers. But no, I mean, I've got lodges galore around me. They're everywhere.
Wow.
It's just lousy with them. In fact, even when I was in high school, before I knew any of this stuff, I had a friend of mine whose name was Charlie Brown. Good old Charlie Brown. Played football, too. Belonged to the high school fraternal organization attached to the Masons.
Uh-oh.
Went to his ceremony, his graduation ceremony thing, when our senior year of high school, he graduated to whatever next degree or whatever in his process. And I actually went to the Masonic Hall in Grand Rapids with a couple friends and actually watched the whole ceremony and then ate a bunch of food and danced in their big building. It was weird.
Wow.
It was very weird. I wish I had known then the stuff that I know now. I still probably would have gone, but at least I'd have been a little more aware of what I was looking at.
Have we got any listeners at the moment? I scared them off.
I don't know.
I don't do.
I'd have to get up to find out.
By singing. Yeah.
Do you have a little tracker there that keeps tabs on when people are listening to our show?
Yes.
Excellent.
We send electric shocks to their homes. We can knock out their computer at any moment.
Wow, you really are laying in bed, aren't you?
Yeah.
Man, I could do this wireless and lay in my bed. The only problem is that I'd be on like a dial-up speed.
Yeah. I just have a long string on the microphone.
That's good.
And the cat sits here with me.
I'm drinking wine. I'll mention that.
That's much later there.
We've got alcohol going on, somebody petting a pussy, and
Got all the elements of porn.
right, exactly. I mean, we've got the alcohol, we've got the sexual innuendos. The only problem is it's 3 guys talking.
Oh,
We need more women in this movement. I mean, if you really consider it, I'm saving the world, I should be Brad Pitt, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Saving the world is sexier than whatever the hell he does.
Yeah. Well, we did have Lily Carter a while back, but that was
Call her
a
up.
show.
What's wrong with her?
No idea.
She's too new age for, us. She's an indigo child.
She's not online.
I know. She hides, though. She tends to be online, but, listed as offline. Yeah.
So that she can furtively sneak around the chat room.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of hard to get in unless you're invited, though, right?
Oh, in this chat room you can't join, yeah. We have to put you in.
Our top-down control, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, it's more like, it's not even that.
Well, David is finally on board and realizes that all those little electric shocks that you're saying has been feeling. He sends his regards and thanks you very much.
Oh, good.
He's waiting for his next one, though. He's starting to fall asleep himself and needs to get motivated.
Let's see, what can we do? We covered Alan Watt in the first half hour, whatever. Well, I did anyway, through a movie that he's in. Yeah, it was fun.
But my man, yes, to save the world, but doesn't. Only
One man betrayed by his own people. Save the world.
I think that's Transformers.
Every Hollywood movie right there.
Yeah. There's one of the characters in Transformers Revenge of the Fallen says that. Oh, I'll say one other thing. Well, a few other things about Transformers Revenge of the Fallen, apart from the obvious Michael Bay and me sort of references. I'm trying to avoid those. I saw a specialised version of Transformers Revenge of the Fallen in cinemas, and in it, there's the Mexican character, who does the realfuckingdeal.com.
Okay.
That's in the proper movie. I'll tell you the special bits. I've got the actual release video as well. Have you seen the movie?
I haven't seen the second one, no.
Okay. Well, it's really
once.
Well, it's really blatantly about the truth movement, and it's really blatantly about specific people in the truth movement. The realfuckingdeal.com is Joe Blow, the person who runs the realfuckingdeal.com, and at one point in the cinema, he wears a scarf, Joe Blow. And it's ridiculous. And he goes like, the woman, Megan Fox's character, goes, "Why are you wearing that?" It's like, I wanted to blend in disguise. But it just happens to look exactly like Joe Blow, and he's a real coward as well. And he's all mouthy, but he gets all freaked out every time anything happens, like when he meets Transformers for real. When they meet up, when Wiki Wit meets up with him, he's like a roomie with him, and he's running this site called therealfuckingdeal.com, and it's like, oh, you haven't heard of it? Everybody's heard of it, and it's really big, and they were taking exclusive footage of Transformers killing people or something with Decepticons, and they were always complaining that other people stole their links throughout the beginning of the movie, and he's got some real back jobs with him, working with him.
Wow! So it's yay! Let's totally indict.
It's a blatant reference to the truth movement, and WikiWit kind of gets involved in it, and he doesn't really want to, but he's associated by implication sort of thing, and this Mexican character gets along with him, and he goes, "Didn't you?" WikiWit goes to the Joe Blow character, goes, "Didn't you do a song called Marching Our Way Up to Macho Mountain?" And this Mexican character, he tries to be successful in the ladies all the time. He thinks he's a real stud, but he's really disastrous, and he's like too extravagant or gay or something. And when he goes to clubs, he just does these stupid pelvic thrusts and sticks his arm out and points at women and stuff. And it's just really funny.
Wait a minute, that doesn't work?
Not for him.
Man, I knew I've been using the wrong pickup moves. I guess I just have to watch the right movies.
Yeah. Well, okay, and the Michael Bay reference, which is, The Fallen is apparently based on me. The character called Fallen, he's like a pharaoh, and talks like me, and it's like Optimus Prime. And he's supposedly from Mars, but he comes into the Earth in real life. And he says stuff like, "I've been to that wretched planet Earth before, the repulsive planet." He's really funny.
check it out.
Yeah, you have to watch the movie. It's really, really good. I'm not sure who. There's this other guy who works for Section 7. I'm not sure who he's based on. He's an older character, and he has loads of info. But he's works in a butcher's shop or something, selling sausages. And so it's quite funny because they all have these really sort of mundane jobs in real life.
Well, it's like the CIA. They've got to be mundane. They've got to be common, ordinary-looking people.
Yeah, he's CIA. One of his old jobs is CIA. This older character.
Nope.
Oh yeah, and yeah, on the DVD, watch the both is if you watch it carefully, he says this is for John at various points. So who's he talking to? Who's he talking about? I have no idea. I've also acted out several of the parts before the movie was released of that movie. Jetfire, which is a sort of reference to Jet O'Hara from Mission Earth. He's this old robot with a sort of like stupid Scottish accent, which is supposedly based on the King of Scotland, returning King of Scotland. He's like originally an executive director or something, according to the movie, of the Decepticons, and then he comes back and sort of like switches over to the side of the Autobots, and he does that by scratching out his Decepticon badge.
Oh,
he's like one of these fake good guys, yeah.
Right, because that's all you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
Take off.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he's like, yeah, I work with the Fallen, but it's constant negativity just got boring after a while. The Fallen's great. When he does this speech, he takes over Times Square, and he transmits this message, and he goes, "We are looking for the boy. He was given us the boy. Here he is." And he was like those video images, and they show like this the boy, WikiWit, sort of reference to the Mortician.
The Mortician.
Yeah, from the Phantasm movies.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Who accidentally looks exactly like John Rockefeller.
Accidentally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sure that was a total accident.
Total coincidence. In 1980s movies.
Need to go back and check into all that.
Mm.
See, the problem is that so much of history passed by without having any of this understanding.
Well, they give you hints and secrets in obscure movies, that's the thing. And they'll send them out to specific people, like, become really interested in them. Oh, I'll run you out the picture. But, basically, John Rockefeller looks like the Mortician, Michael Bay looks like, the older brother of, Boy. There's a character called Boy. Who's that wrestler again? The one with the like really thinning hair. Jesse Ventura.
Yep.
Looks like a character from Phantasm as well. And he's like in all the episodes, and he's got really sort of bad hair. So it's quite bizarre, all the little references they put in the media, obscure movies.
Interesting. Well, there you have it, folks. Watch Revenge of the Fallen and find all the hidden references. Giving away a prize here in World Freeman Society. If you can find the most references in Revenge of the Fallen, Maggot will record the outgoing answering machine on your home phone.
Oh no, I won't bother doing that.
Oh.
I'll just laugh.
We also want to once again solicit money to help buy Lenny a new bed that doesn't squeak quite so much. The springs are starting to sound a little old. Make sure he's resting comfortably while he's on the show with us. We're going to make sure he's happy to listen.
And yeah, I had to mention one other thing. Megatron is called the Maggotaur. At one point, Phil. Yeah, Megatron.
Perfect. So they just totally ripped you off.
Yeah, I know, it's quite funny.
You should go after like, royalties.
$800 million.
That's a fair sum, I think.
That's how much they made, roughly.
So what kind of
That's fine. I've already done the screenwriting for the next one anyway, so whatever. I gave you a few hints.
Can you give us the inside scoop on what's going to happen next?
Transformers 3. Okay, it's going to be gender wars. Yeah, gender wars is a joke on the agenda. And they're going to introduce more female robots. Ricky Bit is going to find out that his girlfriend is one of the Autobots. She's actually a robot, and also the two girls are the ones played by Megan Fox and the one who's called the Medusa. That's two girls reference. One of them plays for the Decepticons, one plays for the Autobots, and he's going to find out he's been duped, and he's going to also probably find out that he's a robot himself.
I would watch that movie.
He's going to find out he's a byproduct of Optimus Prime, who will turn out to be an imposter as well. Not actually the original deal, because if you watch the storyline, he just basically rips everything off. And it's going to be Jetfire is going to be like Jetfire got betrayed at the end of the second episode by giving his power to Optimus, because he thought Optimus was actually proper Prime, but Optimus isn't actually a proper Prime. Optimus probably will turn out to be a product of the military, the Earth military.
It was all done there as an extension of rerouting control.
Yeah, they wanted the Transformer technology, and they'll probably find out that the Fallen comes from the centre of the Earth, as opposed to coming from Mars, or you might have had a spacecraft on Mars that crash landed, but they actually originated from the centre of the Earth. That's if they make the third movie, what they should do.
I think it's official. We all want some of the wine that you're drinking right now, Maggot. I think it's the only way we're all going to be able to appreciate that film in its entirety. Send cases of wine with the finished DVD, and I'll start having massive shots.
Just as well nobody listens to this, really.
Pardon?
Just as well nobody listens to this show, anyway, really.
It's probably just as well.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, I can't really get in trouble since I haven't been paid for it.
Right, exactly, you know. I'm still waiting for my first paycheck. Hey, Mr. Administrator there, when are you going to start paying us?
Yeah, Mr. Mason.
Mr. Mason. Excuse me. Did Lenny fall asleep on us there?
I think so. I think he died of shock.
Well, you know, he's got, once the show starts getting late, he tends to fall asleep. You know, sometime about 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh, and Megatron is sort of based on Glenn Keely, but also apparently it's based on me, so...
Are you really that huge in the movement?
I get picked up by loads of... I don't know if you actually found out, but Cheltenham's actually a movie town.
Say what?
We're actually a film town, movie town.
Oh, you really?
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. I did not know that.
Sort of like England equivalent of Hollywood town or something. If there is such a place.
Well, Michigan's getting bigger that way too. Apparently, they've filmed something like 14 movies here in the last 2 years.
Yeah. They haven't made that many movies here, but I think we got more like a connection with the Americans through Pennsylvania. Who cares? I'm just talking to pass time.
Right, exactly. Which is all we have to do for the next 13 minutes.
Yeah, nothing I'm saying is legally binding. I wouldn't care if it was anyway.
Anything you say can and will be used at some point by somebody mocking all of us.
Yeah, in a feeble attempt, and I'll just do my Jetfire impression again and piss them off.
I used to be able to do Optimus Prime, but I haven't tried it in years.
Yeah, Optimus Prime is like move out troops, reaffirm the offensive, and he doesn't really say much of intelligence. That's the thing, because people found out that Optimus Prime doesn't really say anything very intelligent at all, ever.
Right.
So he's more of a dork, sort of like a low-level AI thing. It's just like there to pull in things, and he's not the real leader of the Autobots. He's like the assumed leader of the Autobots. I'm just thinking possible outlines for the third one anyway. They might not go into that much depth.
Probably not. I think you're rethinking the aliens.
The number 2 was full of little storyline stuff.
I guess we'll have to watch it all the way through, but that can destroy your audience. Star Wars Episode 1 was such a crashing success.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but they did that. Like, that was the fourth movie made.
Right.
But I think it's Revenge of the Fallen. The ending of that is because Optimus becomes ridiculously overpowered, and then Megatron's got really pissed off at him. He's like, "Oh, you're disgusting." On the version I've seen, and on the DVDs, there's something slightly different. But yeah, he's just like totally overpowers him, and he spends a lot of time rolling on his back, waiting for the Jetfire injection. Basically, he's not that much of a hero. Probably disgusted like 200 million fans.
That's alright. That's once again, that's presuming we have anyone who's actually listening to us.
Yeah.
Did you? They did a whole story earlier today. South Park apparently has been censored by Comedy Central for the first time ever.
Yeah.
Because of death threats.
Yeah. Oh, I should point out the Maggotron reference is it's on the DVD as well. So I sort of kept quiet about it until I saw it on the DVD as well. But you got the twins, Huey and Dewey, and they call Megatron when they're fighting the Devastator, which is this big, huge, giant worm thing. And it devours the other Decepticons.
Now I've got to see them. Just so I can go, hey, I know that guy!
That's it. I mean, like several of the Decepticons. It's like, they're the great worms that are evidence to me at all.
Heard it here first. We have the grand authority for Maggotron with us today.
Maggotaur himself.
Maggotaur himself. Now, what are your goals as far as controlling the population here?
What, as Maggotaur?
Yes.
I just get really pissed off. I can't think of anything appropriate to say. But it's like, people are so fucking stupid, and they ought to fucking grow up. Because we're ripping off left, right, centre. And you've been duped by your government.
Well, when you've got that big, huge gun strapped onto your shoulder, I'm hard-pressed to argue with you.
That's it. And I can transform into a tank as well, by the way.
Really? That's
yeah. Megatron can have.
That's a new one. See, I'm still hung up on how they completely redid the whole Transformers stuff, considering, we all saw the Transformers movie back in the 1980s, that wonderful animation thing with...
Sure, with Orson Welles.
Eyes. Optimus Prime dies. So I'm impressed that they brought him back to life. That's pretty powerful.
He dies in the second one as well.
Oh, does he? He dies at the end of it?
No, he dies in the beginning of it, pretty much. Well, that first third of it.
Huh. Man.
Comes back, of course.
Sure, of course. It's a movie.
Well, no, yeah, he comes back. I mean, they have to, because he's a robot, they go through the whole, dragging his body around, and then they just drop it in Iraq or whatever. And then he gets revitalized.
Sure. Makes total sense. See, that's what I love about Hollywood, is the depth of reality that they expose. The sheer overwhelming sense of this is real life. It's important.
It's not a typical Hollywood movie at all, by any means. That's what's one of the great things about it. It's broken several boundaries. For instance, they've never been able to film the pyramids before. They've never been able to, in the sense of having the pyramids destroyed.
Right.
They had to get permission in order to do that, and they had to get permission. Well, they almost couldn't do it, and then the prince
we're taking up the collection to replace the screens in your bed.
You got somebody in there with it.
It must be.
Just a
Team
cat.
Whopper.
He got his own half of
That'd
the
be
bed. He has his own half. He's not on my half.
See, the bad thing is that where we are, we can't hear the music that's playing in the background, but I imagine it's probably something like bam, 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 bam.
No, he's got his own demarcation line. He's on his half of it. I got my half. He's perfectly fine over it.
But I still think we need new springs for your bed, though.
It's not springs. It's like a bad futon.
Ah, well, that's
It's
even worse.
like a metal torture rack.
Handmade and constructed by the Byzantine Empire.
Well, no, it's American crap.
Oh.
That's why
Oh,
it sounds like that. Byzantines to be beautiful and working well. Well constructed.
Rosewood and teak, right?
Or something like that.
Sure. None of this stupid, crappy metal, Japanese-inspired. Much like the show today, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you being with us. I hope this sounds better on the archives than it does when it's being spread live. One can only hope.
The Maggot was giving the amazing impressions of his drunken talk, which is cool. It goes down really well.
Yep. Here's what we learned on the show today, ladies and gentlemen. We learned that filling 3 hours between two people talking is not the easiest thing in the world to do.
Especially when there's no news.
Right?
I mean, get the hint news media, generate some, for fuck's sake.
Come on. Give us
I
something.
know, just make something up. Have a war.
Please, gee, give us something to talk about. We learned that if you mix truth with porn, you're going to get a much better audience.
Yeah.
Which I think is definitely the highlight of the show, in my opinion, so far.
Relearn, I think.
So, what else did we learn today?
We learned I can operate my computer by a phone.
Which is pretty damn talented, I think.
Yeah.
We learned that...
You have a voice-activated computer. And you can do that even in Windows.
No.
I've tried.
I used VNC.
We learned that Phil Spector and Lenny Bruce share something in common. They both enjoy exploiting people's talents,
Yeah.
which is, always good. Always
Lenny
good.
Bruce never did that.
No, I suppose that's...
He just talked on stage.
Well, but you were offering to, I guess. You started to write all of my songs about a door.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm not the real Lenny Bruce, though.
Right. Oh, geez, see? Now it's, everything's falling apart. You ruined my whole comprehension of everything. I thought you were actually going to help me here, but no. No, that's fine.
We learned that we scheduled the show during my nap time.
Yep. We learned that we always schedule this during Lenny's nap time.
It's not good.
Well, maybe we need to reschedule then. Maggot, you can rearrange time and space so that you can be free at other hours, right?
Not during the week. On Friday, I have half day. But basically, I work 8 to 5, come back here, it's 5:30, and the show starts at 6, on till 9. So there's not much flexibility really, because I don't even get a chance to wash until like 9.
This is like the best time, I
Right.
guess. I'll just sleep through the show.
That's fine. That won't be anything new. Typical.
We didn't even rely on Iconoclast radio, that's how good we are. We didn't use him at all today.
No? Well, he hasn't been around.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. Totally irrelevant.
Totally irrelevant. We learned that Maggot does a brilliant rendition of Black Dragon. That was new to me. I think I'm going to use it as my ringtone from here on.
Yeah, I know I can't sing, but I'm quite really like listening going back to that Italian opera technique.
No, that was brilliant. That was absolutely brilliant. I was moved. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I don't know what being sarcastic. Helps if you know the actual song.
Yeah, it does. Because I'm not familiar with the actual song either.
And I was like quoting from the misheard lyrics, so it's all junk. So it sounds a lot funny on replay.
Oh, I'm sure.
I think I can imagine like both of you just sitting there with like your hair like going white like coming back from the side of your face. Ah! He was like, ah,
Well, it reminded me of listening to them sing on Monty Python. So I found it to be quite enjoyable. We learned that, yes, the Jews are in fact at the center of all the worst things in the world, and we learned that the Byzantine Empire is the only real empire, and nothing exists or has any influence on anything. And the rest of us are all just existent for the sole purpose of being part of the Byzantine world. If y'all figure that out, and then he will be extremely happy. Bum bum bum!
It's Aquarius, I was doing this in tune Aquarius. Byzantium, Byzantium. You know, the age, this is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. I think it's the Fifth Element wrote it, or sang it, something like that.
I think you're right. I'm familiar with the song. I sang it in high school, actually.
Very good.
Right, exactly. Hey, I sang Imagine when I was in high school too.
Mm-hmm. I was in the Nativity play. I was one of Three Wise Men. I improvised the play, rewrote the script. I was 5 years old.
And did it sound like the Queen?
I did not sound like the Queen. I decided to do my idea of the Three Wise Men was I was going to be. I remember his name. He's an astronomer, Patrick Moore. I played the role of Patrick Moore, and we had a company called Infinity Unlimited or something like that.
Interesting.
That was I managed to insert all those references to myself, the future, in a nativity play, and I don't know why, but all the girls want me to be the donkey. I won't go into details.
Nice. Well, ladies and gentlemen, on that note, we're going to go ahead and sign off if we haven't signed off already. And hopefully Lenny is awake and can shut everything down.
I'll go over there. I'll walk over.
Right, well, you know, I don't want it to be too much of a stretch for you. I want to make sure you're fine. You have been listening to American Freeman. I am Don. We've been talking to Maggot today. And Lenny Bruce, there is your responsible party. It's all his fault.
I'm a responsible party. I'm signing off now.